the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, this evening, the meeting this evening is a public hearing. The public hearing will be on the PER, which is the Preliminary Engineering Report and Environmental Review conducted by Interstate Engineering. We have Brad Bain and Gina Berry to go over that with us this evening. And as soon as that's gone over, we will take public comment.
Okay. I'll give a little intro here, some housekeeping items. Again, we're here to give a presentation on the system-wide PER. There will be a two-part meeting to this, and that's just to fulfill the requirements of the PER process for funding agencies, DEQ, other agencies, etc. So we'll go through the larger one first, the system-wide PER, cover that, and then there'll be a smaller environmental hearing to follow. There are a lot of slides, so we're going to try and get through them efficiently. So I ask that everyone, if you have questions, please, technical questions specifically, please try and save them for the end. We are okay with questions if we need to clarify something. Obviously, we want everyone to understand what's going on. If something needs to be clarified, we're more than willing to answer those questions. But if you have more in-depth technical questions, we ask that you write them down and save them for the end, please. So it's been almost 20 years since we've conducted our...
Brad, I was going to suggest that you explain to our public why we're doing this. You know, to us it's obvious, but
Yep.
there's a reason behind our madness. If you can explain why we are doing the PER.
Yes.
Alright,
So it's been almost 20 years since we passed a PER composed for the district, and the PER is the roadmap going forward. You gotta have a plan. You gotta identify your deficiencies. You gotta identify your aging infrastructure. What is the growth expected? What is that impact of growth going to have on all of our infrastructure? You know, there's a point in time where you do have to build more reservoirs, build more pipelines. Just recently, you see those pictures over there. Those were built, I want to say, in 2016, 2017.
2017 and 2017, 18. Yeah, that was Lanier Pump Station and Oxbow Tank.
So again, just we got to look forward to those things. You know, we do have to. You guys as either being served by the system or in this case, somebody managing the system. You know, we have to adhere to the EPA standards. There are certain pressures, flows, that kind of thing have to be maintained. And as your system grows, you know, more stress we put on it, more demands, more. You know, we have to keep up with whatever that's going to throw at us. So really, that PER is going to be that roadmap going forward. We're going to identify deficiencies, which Gina will go over, and identify potential solutions, and discuss the costs that we foresee behind those. A lot of this, a large portion of this study is actually based on the hydraulics. We've been managing the Heights water model for 20 years. It's a large, it has provided a lot of information towards projecting out what are we looking at for growth and how does that affect our system. So that is a large component of it. In early stages, we met with Josh and Bo. They've been managing, Josh, you've been managing this for what, 10, 11 years? Or
I've been here for
as an operator, I should say. We met with those guys to get their input on what they're seeing. So obviously got to take the input from the boots on the ground. And that all comes together for us to produce this preliminary engineering report. I think I covered everything. Again, this is there's a uniform app requirement behind this. We have to do this in a certain way. Hence why some of this is gonna appear to be repetitive, I'll say. Some things in our first part, you're gonna see in the second part, and if you were to sit down and read the 1,000-page document, you probably would ask why we're covering things over and over and over. We have to answer the questions, we have to follow the outline of the uniform map, satisfy the requirements of the agencies that we're preparing this for. So, Tina, you wanna take it from here? I think
I
that's
will,
all I
thank you, Brad.
have.
I'll be presenting the results of the County Water District of Billings Heights, or CWDBH, system-wide preliminary engineering report. So, overview of the presentation, the items I will discuss include the purpose of the PDR, the
Gina,
water system.
I hate to interrupt, could you push that display mode so that the screen is,
Full screen?
yeah, it's a little display button there.
Would it help if we turn down the lights too, so we can see the screen?
Is that better, or?
No, that's the,
I
That's the
can't
other
go
screen.
that way. All I can do is shut that or that.
Can we get rid of this light that's, you see primarily?
I'm shutting you
Yeah.
off.
There we go.
Can you guys see it now, even though you've got it in front of you too? No response, okay.
Up there.
Are you good?
I'm good, I can see.
There's a little icon, when you go back to the other one, one is the presenter, one is the display, so, okay,
You just had it.
you go to the,
Very good, yeah.
Oh.
try that one. There's one of those. Icon in the middle there, I think. Go, try that one.
Says black or unblack.
Because now you have the screen of the presenter.
That,
There you go.
Oh, there you
like Brad said, we'll talk about the deficiencies that we identified with the system, then we'll go over proposed projects. Oh yeah, let's. Then we'll go over the proposed project schedule, and then finally we'll go over the proposed project funding, and then at the end, we will open it up to any questions. So the purpose of the PER, I won't go into details because Brad did a pretty good job at explaining why we are completing the PER. Now I'll go into the water system components. Handout number 1 displays the overall system for the Heights. The Heights was created in 1958 and has experienced steady growth for the past 65 years. The Heights purchases treated water from the city of Billings. The Heights system has 3 storage reservoirs, 7 pumping stations, a 3 chlorine residual management system at the Oxbow Reservoir, and over 105 miles of distribution system piping. So the water source, as I just stated, the Heights purchases treated water from the city of Billings. City of Billings treats water from the Yellowstone River through conventional filtration and 2-stage disinfection. The treated water is pumped from the water treatment plant to the Heights through city-owned infrastructure. And the point of delivery is at the city-owned Walter Pump Station located along East Airport Road. Handout number 2 displays the different types of pressure zones in the Heights system. The biggest pressure zone is the main zone, and it is in yellow. The hilltop zone is located in the southwestern corner, and it is green. The Hawthorne zone is magenta, and it's located in the northern portion of the system. The Rawhide zone is in blue, and the Lake Hills zone is in red-orange. The Inverness zone is in purple, and it is only utilized in the summer. So the first storage reservoir is the Hilltop Reservoir. It's 2 million gallons. It was installed in 1960, and it serves the Hilltop pressure zone and parts of the main zone. The Lanier Reservoir is also 2 million gallons. It is located in the northeastern part of the district. It was installed in the 1980s, and it serves the main pressure zone. The last reservoir is the Oxbow Reservoir. It is the largest reservoir. It's 4 million gallons. It was installed in 2017. It serves Lake Hills, Rawhide, and Hawthorne pressure zones. These pictures display the Lanier and the Oxbow Reservoir. Transmission mains are mains that convey water to the storage tanks, and they also deliver water from the reservoirs to the distribution systems. The Heights water system contains multiple transmission mains. As I've stated numerous times, the Heights receives treated water from the city of Billings. After the Oxbow Reservoir was put online in 2017, the system started to experience free chlorine residuals dropping below the minimum. In order to address this in 2021, a water system improvements project was implemented. It consisted of installing a free chlorine management system at the Oxbow Reservoir and installing high volume electric mixers at all 3 reservoirs. The testing in the far end of the system has shown that this management system helping meet the free chlorine residuals. The Heights water system has 7 pumping stations total. The Hilltop pumping station is active, and it serves the Hilltop pressure zone. The Lanier pumping station is also an active pumping station. It pumps water from the Lanier Reservoir to the Oxbow Reservoir. The Rolling Hills pumping station isn't active since the Oxbow Reservoir was put online. The St. Andrews pumping station is active. It pumps water to the Lake Hills pressure zone. The Oxbow pumping station is retired. The Hawthorne pumping station is active. It serves the Bar 11 subdivision, or the Hawthorne pressure zone. And then finally, the last pumping station is the Inverness pumping station. It was recently reactivated this summer in order to boost pressures to the highest elevation in the Lake Hills pressure zone. Finally, the distribution system. It consists of approximately 557,200 feet of asbestos cement, or AC, cast iron, CI, ductile iron, DI, and polyvinyl chloride, PVC, water pipe ranging in size from 6 inches to 24 inches. The meters are Badger meters with Orion radio read endpoints. The supervisory control and data acquisition, or SCADA, is used to monitor and control most of the components in the system. Now I'll discuss the deficiencies that were identified with the system components. There are no deficiencies identified for the water source. The Heights has been putting water from the city of Billings for over 65 years. Overall, the storage reservoirs are in relatively fair to good condition. The tanks are inspected and cleaned every 3 years. The main concern was revealed in the Hilltop Reservoir. During the 2023 inspection, it was revealed that the interior ladder is severely corroded. The Oxbow Reservoir is unable to serve the main pressure zone in case of an emergency. As part of the PER, the future demands were calculated. The storage plus the source capacity, which the source capacity is the water available from the city of Billings, must equal or exceed the maximum day demand plus fire storage. DEQ requires the effective storage volume be used for the storage analysis. The effective volume is the minimum operating level to the maximum operating level times area of the tank. The minimum operating level is the lowest level above the tank floor in order to achieve required pressures in the system. So the first storage analysis was completed for the Hilltop. It revealed that the existing storage reservoir will need approximately 0.47 million gallons to meet the 2046 future demands. For the Lanier storage analysis, the additional storage that will be needed in the future is about 0.2 million gallons. Finally, for the Oxbow Reservoir, approximately 1.54 million gallons will be needed for the future demands. Overall, the transmission mains are in good condition. There are a few areas in the system that lack looped mains. Dead-end mains are known to cause water stagnation, which in turn can deteriorate. As with the transmission main, the pumping stations are in overall good condition. The Heights operators take very good care of maintaining these pumping stations. The St. Andrews station is over 50 years old and is still in relatively good condition. The Hawthorne pumping station requires the addition of supplemental heating or upsizing the existing heater. The free chlorine management system that's at Oxbow is only 3 years old and is in pretty good condition. As I stated, it has proved to be an effective way to meet the low free chlorine residuals in the far end of the system. The Hilltop and Lanier reservoirs may require chlorine injection systems for the future. Now I'll discuss disinfectant byproducts, or DBPs. Recently, the district has been getting close to exceeding the DBPs. DBPs form when the disinfectant, which is chlorine, mixes with naturally occurring organic matter in the water source, which is the water source's yield. The 2 DBPs that the district monitors for are total trihalomethanes, or TTHMs, and haloacetic acids, or HAA5s. The Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, sets the TTHMs maximum contaminant level, MCL, at 80 micrograms per liter, and the HAA5s at 60 micrograms. These graphs display the haloacetic acid values for 2023 and 2024 for both the district and the city of Billings. The dashed line represents the city of Billings value. The solid line represents the Heights value, and then the red represents the maximum contaminant level that is set by the EP. As you can see in both graphs, the haloacetic acids are the highest during quarter 2, which is the spring, and this is typically from the increase in organic matter during spring runoff and heavy rainfalls. It was also correlated that when the city of Billings levels are high, the Heights levels are also high. Currently, the Heights is working with the city on the elevated levels. Now I'll discuss the trihalomethane values from 2023 and 2024. The trihalomethane values are the highest in quarter 3, which is the summer, and due to high water temperatures can increase the amount of organics. As with haloacetic acids, the Heights is working with the city of Billings to address these elevated levels. So why are we concerned about DBPs? They have the potential to increase the risk of tissue damage, organ failure, bladder, liver, and colon cancers. The meters, the current issues with the meters are with the electronics. The transponders are advertised to have a 20-year battery life, and they are starting to fail before the 20-year life. The district replaces about 15 transponders per month. This table displays the pipe inventory for the system. The items of concern are in red. About 184,000 linear feet of pipe are 6-inch AC, and the 6-inch AC has an inside diameter of only 5.81 inches. And the smaller diameter restricts the amount of flow and available fire flow. This graph displays the pipe materials. In red, which is asbestos cement, is over 50% of the system. In green is polyvinyl chloride. It makes up 37%. In orange is ductile iron. It makes up 6%. And in gray is cast iron, and it makes up 6%. Now I'll discuss water demand and water loss. From 2020 to 2023, the Heights purchased approximately 80.7 million gallons per month from the city of Billings. The Heights sold approximately to the customers 70.1 million gallons. The monthly leakage can be estimated by subtracting the monthly sold from the monthly purchased. On average, the system loses about 10.5 million gallons per month, or 12% loss. The EPA states that water systems lose on average about 14%. The majority of the leaks occur on Main Street. Handout number 3 displays where these breaks occurred on Main Street and when they occurred. Approximately 13 breaks occurred from 1992 to 2024. Recently, the district they had Mueller Ecologics conduct a pipe assessment on approximately 7,000 linear feet of the distribution system. The field work was just completed this November, and they should be getting the results at the end of this month. The testing results will provide additional support data to prioritize what pipes to replace first. Handout number 4 presents the AC pipe by the year installed. In red is the oldest pipe, and it was installed from 1960 to 1969. A large portion of this, about half of the system was installed in this time frame, and that's about 200,800 linear feet. In orange is the pipe installed from 1970 to 1979, and in pink is the age of that pipe is unknown. Handout number 5 displays the age for all pipes in the system. Approximately 231,900 feet of pipe was installed from 1960 to 1969, so over 60 years old. Next, I'll discuss the hydraulic water model results for the future demands. Handout number 6 displays the results, the pressure results. The red dashes are the lowest pressures that were experienced in the system. As you can see, parts of the system are as low as negative 13 psi. So why are we concerned about low pressures and negative pressures? It has been proven that microbial growth increases during leaks and low pressure events. This microbial growth can potentially cause diseases in humans, including but not limited to Legionnaire's disease and dysentery. So the proposed solutions or alternatives. Multiple solutions or alternatives were evaluated for each system component to address the identified system deficiencies. Specific details of all the alternatives can be found in Chapter 4 of the PER. On the Heights website, there's a link to the PER. So the prioritization of projects. For each system component, all of the viable alternatives were evaluated against each other using certain criteria to choose the highest priority projects. Chapter 5 of the PER details the evaluation and selection of the preferred alternatives. Handout number 7 displays all of the proposed projects from the PER, and then it also states like the proposed or tentativers to implement these projects. This table is the implementation schedule, the tentative one, from 2025 to 2078. For all the projects, it costs over about $266 million. So the highest priority projects from the PER include Alternative 4C, which is the Hilltop Reservoir improvements, and Phase 1 of Alternative 6C, improvements to meet minimum pressure during projected peak demands while fighting a fire. The total capital cost for the 2025 projects is about $4.1 million. Handout number 8 shows the 2025 projects. Alt 4C includes installing 960 feet of new 24-inch discharge main, installing flow meters on all discharge mains, installing remotely operated or automated control valves, and making updates to the Phase 1 of Alt 6C includes upsizing 5,700 feet of existing 6-inch AC with new 8-inch PVC. Now I'll discuss medium household income, target rates, funding, and the preferred alternative. The median income is defined as the median divides the income distribution into two parts. One half of the cases falling below the median income and one half above. The City of Billings MHI, which would be the Heights MHI, from the 2015-2019 American Community Survey is 59,656. Now I'll discuss target rates. The target rate is the expected combined average cost of residential water and sewer services, and it is used when applying for grants. The target rate is 1.4% of the MHI for water and 0.9% of the MHI for sewer. So the Heights target rate is about $69.60. The average monthly water bill in the Heights is approximately $72.29. Therefore, the Heights water are about 104% of the target. Now I'll discuss available funding sources. The Montana Coal Endowment Program, or MCEP, offers grants to improve infrastructure that will improve public health and safety. The grant amounts are based on the target rate. If the target rate is between 100 and 124.9, a municipality can apply for a 500,000 grant. If the target rate is between 125 and 150, they could apply for a 125,000 grant. And if the target rate is above 150, they apply for a 750,000 grant. Since the target rate is above 100%, the Heights could apply for 500,000 grant. The grant cycles are every even year, so the Heights could apply for a future project in 2026. The next funding source is the Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation, DNRC Renewable Resource Grant Loan, RRGL. It is offered to projects that will conserve, manage, develop, and preserve Montana's renewable resources. The grants are $125,000. As with MSEP, the grant cycles are every even year, and it's typically due in the spring. For future projects, the Heights could apply for the DNRC RRGL grant. The next source is the United States Department of Agriculture Rural Development Water and Waste Disposal Loan and Grant Program. It is offered to rural areas and towns with populations of 10,000 or less. Since the Heights population is over 10,000, they are ineligible for this funding source. The next funding source is the Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG. More than 50% of households must be considered to have low to moderate income, or LMI. To be considered LMI, the household gross income must be 80% or less of the MHI. The district's LMI is 42.8% and is therefore ineligible for this project. The last funding source is the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, or DWSRF. It consists of a loan and loan forgiveness. The interest rate is 2.5% and the loan term is 20 years. Water user rates must be above 100% of the target to qualify for forgiveness. The Heights is eligible for an SRF loan/loan forgiveness. So this is the proposed funding scenario for the 2025 projects. We assumed a 25% forgiveness since the target rate is above 100%, though forgiveness is not always guaranteed. With this scenario, a loan of about $3.3 million would be taken out with a forgiveness of about $1 million. And if the Heights chooses this funding scenario, the user rates would increase by about $6.50
Per month?
Yes, per user per month. This is the preliminary schedule, which is subject to change. If the Heights chooses, they will adopt the PER next month. And then we would apply for SRF in January or February of 2025. Design of the projects would occur from March to September of 2025, with advertising to bids in November, and then recommendation to award in December, with construction starting in the spring of 2026, and then the 11-month walkthrough would occur in September of 2027. So acknowledgements, the Heights team consists of Bo Anderson, he's the district manager, Josh Simpson, he's the assistant manager, Doug Carey is the president, Ming Cabrera is the vice president. That's what your website
Frankie
said.
Walt. It should have been changed, it's Frankie Walt who's vice
Yeah, I
president.
just looked on the website today. Okay, thank you, I'll change that. Greg Erkenbach is a board member. Frankie Walt is also a board member. Tom Zerbuin, he's a board member, thank you. And then Jeff Essman is also a board member, and so is Pam Ellis, and Jennifer Burnside is the board secretary, and Susie McGuffin is the clerk. The interstate team included Brad Bain, who's the client manager, myself, I was the project engineer who wrote the PER, Lowell Cutshaw is the senior project engineer who provided technical assistance. Drake Saki, he was the hydraulic water modeler, and Will Stripe did all the CAD draft. Now I'll open up for some questions.
Can we get the lights back on? So
Sure,
you can see
yeah.
us?
It's that one behind you, far right.
Can we get questions from the audience or?
Start with the public.
Start with the public, yes.
Can I just answer?
Yeah.
I just need, the question I have is, the loss of water, 10%, what's causing that?
Just outdated water mains that are leaking,
It just leaks,
yeah.
pretty much?
I mean, it's hard for us to say, but we just use the data of, how many gallons, the Heights purchases from the city of Billings
Well,
versus how much
yeah.
they sell to the
Yeah, I
customers.
understand that. But I'm trying to understand why we'd have that much leakage in the system.
Nationwide,
Yeah,
it's
it's about
double
14%
digit.
is what the EPA has
Oh, really?
estimated, yeah, across the US.
Okay.
Even a brand new system had some leaks, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also
And that
miscellaneous
was a
things.
$6.40 raise per month for that?
Yes,
Per-
yeah, if the
Customer?
Heights, chooses to, go with that funding scenario, that's what it would.
And they have
the
a,
users.
forgiveness for that loan?
Yeah. Of $1 million approximately, but that's not always guaranteed.
How did you determine the average water usage of the Heights? At what,
Actually,
last-
for the Heights, the average
Yeah.
water usage,
yeah,
Um,
average bill?
just from the information from, the Heights, they have all that, the records.
Oh, okay. That's down like low.
Let that, so we can see everybody, I guess.
Oh, sure, sorry.
Any other questions from the public or comments? Not, we'll
Aye.
move to the.
Yeah.
Lewis.
I have a comment. I'm Louis Ingles. I'm the water quality superintendent for the city of Billings, so I'm responsible for managing the drinking water plant that serves the Heights Water District, as well as all the way, the infrastructure up to Walters Home Station. So, first off, thanks for having me and the opportunity to comment. I provided an email to the board and to you, Bo, prior to coming up here that talks about just our comments on the specific projects. I don't know that I necessarily need to go into the individual ones, but wanted to, that generally I think this is great. I think that you guys are making the right moves to look at what it looks like in the future. I can answer any questions too if you have water quality questions, because that's my specific niche for the city.
I would actually like to hear your comments because they came in after I had stopped reading the computer.
Sure, I'm happy to do that. I have a copy of that here.
And I haven't seen the comments yet,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I just sent them this afternoon, so. I wish I had more copies of this. I think I have.
I can print out copies for the board. if
Well,
they-
I've got them here, but I haven't read them, so
Okay, I can just go through them.
if we could just hear them. so
Sure.
everybody can-
So what I did is I took table 6.1 of the preliminary engineering report and just provided comments specific to the city of Billings. So like for the alternatives that are proposed in table 6.1, the first one is the Northwest or Lake Hills Pressure Zone PER selected solution. The comment that we had was that a second connection to the city of Billings appears to alleviate the pressure issues the quickest and with least cost to the CWD BH ratepayers. Further discussion is requested with the city of Billings regarding the most cost-effective alternative to serve growth areas. For alternative 2B, which is the installing a new 12-inch transmission main on Bitterroot Drive from Barrett Road to Mary Street. Generally, we agree with this project alternative. Makes sense to us. Alternative 2C, install a new 24-inch transition main on Independent Lane and install a new 18-inch transmission main on Bitterroot. Again, this is similar to the previous comment. It just, we request that looking at, when serving new growth areas, just talking to us about the best way to do that. Maybe there's a more cost-effective way to do it for your customers. Alternative 2D, install transmission main grid. Same comment, further discussion. That one's for $32 million, so we just, again, there might be a better way to serve the growth areas. Alternative 3B, install chlorine residual management at Lanier and Hilltop reservoirs. Generally, we agree with that project alternative. Alternative 4C, Hilltop reservoir improvements. Generally agree with that project alternative as well. I did want to let the board know that we can, at your request, because we manage the levels in Lanier and Hilltop reservoirs, if you would like us to deeper cycle those reservoirs, or basically it means turning the water over more, we can do that. That's been shown to increase your chlorine residual and decrease your DEPs. So it would be something that you would need to request from us. So that is one water quality option if you're concerned. It looked like in that report, you know, the 1.3 million was partly to make the inlet and outlet at different locations, if I'm not wrong, so that you would turn over that water quicker. But there may be some things we could help with that. Same thing with alternative 4D, again, just at your request, is because we manage the levels in those reservoirs. If you'd like us to deeper cycle them, we can do that. Alternative 4E, installing a new 2.2 million gallon concrete reservoir. Looks like it's $10.4 million. Something to consider, that if there was a second connection to the city of Billings, you may not need that if you're using our Fox reservoirs. So anybody who might be familiar, up by Skyview High School, city of Billings has two 2 million gallon reservoirs. So you may be able to save the money on that project if you went that direction. Again, it's your decision, just wanted to put it out there as an alternative that you could consider. Alternative 4F, miscellaneous reservoir improvements, generally we agree that that's a good project. Alternative 6C, improvements to meet minimum pressures during projected peak fire or demands while fighting a fire. Again, generally agree, we think that's a good idea. Alternative 6D, replacing 50-year-old cast iron water main on Main Street. Generally agree with project alternative. Prior to doing it, we recommend a very recent condition assessment be done prior to doing that. For the city of Billings, obviously we have similar issues with aging mains, and we found that you know, prioritizing and looking if you really need to replace the entire section, or you can maybe do it in chunks to make it a little better for you, a little easier for on the pocketbook.
So Louis, I know you've got a camera that goes through pipes. Do you use that to evaluate the transparent pipes, or how do you evaluate the quality?
So we have an asset management system that looks at, so there's a lot of factors that we look at. We look at the age, number of breaks, just like the interstate is doing here. We look at criticality of what we're serving. For instance, if it's a hospital or a medical facility, that's going to rank higher. We look at fire flows is another thing that comes up, and so we put this into a rank system to decide where the next prioritized project is. And sometimes we found it's not the entire length of the main. You might be able to find that this section of pipe did fine. You may not. You may still need to replace the entire main, but portions of it you can save some money by doing it that way. And then 6E, replacing all asbestos cement water mains. We agree with the replacement program. We've been doing that since the 80s, and we've found that that's a really good way to limit water loss and leaks, as well as, I guess I would say AC replacement. It should be based on condition assessment, risk, and then if there's any changes in the regulatory requirements as it pertains to AC pipes.
Can I ask a question on that? I asked Debbie about the leaks for City of Billings when the CIP report came out, and she said you average about 5% water loss.
I don't think that's true. Ours is 14%. So what the Heights is experiencing is fairly similar to the City of Billings. I don't know if maybe she was talking about maybe in a specific area or not, but our last master plan revealed 14% water loss. So, anyway, those are the extent of our comments. Again, and generally, thanks for the opportunity to comment and be here. If there's anything we can do to help improve water quality, obviously, I don't know, what is it 80% of the citizens or of the ratepayers that you have are in the city of Billings, is that correct?
85.
And so, my point is we have a shared interest in caring for those customers, so that's why I'm here. And thanks for the opportunity to comment.
Brad, if Louis has to leave, I'd like to add, comment on slide 36.
Slide 36.
Contamination? No, that's the water loss.
Yeah, the water demand, water loss.
And just by looking at the numbers, how much we've purchased and how much is sold and the leakage, can you give me a synopsis on that? Because it looks like maybe there's a meter issue there that is not billing us enough.
We,
Potentially,
we
it
had a
does
meeting
look.
with Louis this morning, and when you guys left, we had an extensive conversation about that very issue, and I showed him the chart. So, we are working on a number of issues that is not necessarily in the open on a routine basis. But this one, we call it non-revenue water in the industry. Why not non-revenue? Because whoever gets that leaky water, we can't bill them because we don't know who it is. But it's a difference. So when we talk about non-revenue water, it's not just the cost of water we buy from the city, but we could have sold that water. So we lost that money, but we also lost the markup on those. So it's a big number. It's a big number. So as you know, Pam, during the weekend I did some studies for you to show you the difference. But I noticed it last year, and Louis knows all about it at this point, but I'll send you more detail on it.
When I was looking at it at home earlier today, it just crossed my mind. It's like,
No, something is wrong.
Yeah,
Something is wrong.
Your intuition's correct. That does seem odd. Again, yeah, it's something that Bo and I were talking about, and we'd like to get to the bottom of what's going on there.
Yeah, because the 1.7% loss is gotta be an
On the order.
anomaly somewhere.
You sure you didn't fix all your leaks?
One of the things that we did in 2023 was we paid the $2.9 million that was disputed with the city. And what I wonder is, did that get credited to the water that we purchased?
Well, there's two different things. Back then, it was not the volume of water, it's not the, I'm looking at the chart during that period. Here, it's actually gallons, it has nothing to do with dollars.
Yeah, but you're talking about what we're currently selling more water than we're paying for. But I'm talking about on page 36, where it says we lost 1.7% in 2023. That obviously isn't correct. We didn't do anything with the pipes. What we did in 2023 was pay the 2.9 million in back fees to the city. And I don't know if that would have messed up.
Once again, one is dollar, the other one is gallons. Louis and I were working on the gallons. The dollars are all over the place. That's not of concern. What is of concern is water in, water out. It didn't make any sense. Back then, it was dollar in, dollar out. That didn't make sense. So it was an accounting issue. I think that turned out to be a computer issue. So here it's hydraulics. It really is hydraulics. So I had a long talk with Louis just after our meeting today with the city, and I asked him to look into certain things, and he's going to check into one particular item that might have been changed back in December of not last year, but the year before. And there might have been an event that cost us. And I think it's too premature to speculate on anything, Louis, so give us some time to figure it out. We are aware of it, we're working on it, and so this is gallon, it's not dollars.
Okay, if you take out 2023 as an anomaly, it brings your average water loss to 16%. So, which is quite, because of course 2020 was 21%, so a significant loss still.
Right, but we monitor this every month. I monitor all the non-revenue water is dollar out. A leak is a leak. So we're concerned about it, and obviously Lois is concerned about it, and we'll find out why. But right now, it's pure speculation.
The other question I had, Brad, was on the median income for the USDA loans. Is that taking, you know, if you take the entire Heights as an income group, is that what you took, or did you take our customers? And the only way you could have done that is probably going by precincts and figure out how many people are in each precinct to do that. And just wondering if that makes any difference on that loan? And then also, is it possible when we step out of the city and get our rural customers, if they would qualify for that loan? Just the ones outside of the city limits?
For rural development, we asked our grant administrator, and she said you have to consider the whole service.
The whole
So
service.
for RD, you would be ineligible since
Well,
it's
if-
the whole entire
if you
area, and
look
the
at-
population is above
If you look
10,000.
at the city's annual report, which I looked at last night, their audited statement, I compare our audited statement with theirs. That number is actually about 61,000 now that you have. Your number was about 3 or 4 years old, that 59,000.
Oh, you mean for the MHI, or are we
Yeah.
talking about RD
Yeah,
and the
the
population?
income, the percentage.
Well, yeah, because I said that the MHI, and usually it depends on your grant funding source.
Right.
They require the 2015,
But look at
2019.
the city's annual report, the number is different. It really
It
doesn't
just
make
varies
any,
what source
it doesn't
you're
make
looking
that
at.
much difference. It doesn't make any difference, but I looked at that, and I also looked at a few other numbers where we look good.
So we fall in, we're folded in with the metropolitan area billings.
Yeah, for the RD funding source, because you were asking about RD, right, rural development.
Right,
Yeah.
there is no sub.
There's
So
no
you're
rights.
ineligible for it, because you have
That
to
was based
consider
on
the whole
population.
service area population, and the Heights is above 10,000.
But our district is not.
We are for people.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
service
That's
area.
Statistically,
Yeah, specific to the
we're in
different
the
counties.
city, statistically speaking.
Right, but if we have 6,000 customers, there's a lot of those that are businesses. Population of those 6,000 meters probably is less than 10,000 people.
The residential.
Well, your average household
Yeah, it's like
population is 2.1 per,
I guess
per
that's
household, yeah.
6,000 times 2.1 would be about over 12,000, so we're out of it.
14,000, but that's not taking your commercials out.
Commercial.
But we have 6,000 residential.
Yeah, the
We have more than
3/4 inch.
6,000
Yeah.
residential hookups.
Questions are going to, over there, and we'll have to, I'll start with Jeff, I'll go to Tom, and then to Pam.
I just have one question. So the AC pipe that you show in number 7 is being replaced, want to go from 6 to 8 inch, and that is not based upon the condition of the pipe necessarily, but the pressure issues. Is that correct?
Correct.
And
Yes.
that's what drove that suggestion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
based
'Cause
on the
that's-
growth and the fire flow.
Yeah, that's addressing public health and safety, so
Got it.
we feel that should be prioritized first.
Thank you.
Tom?
You're welcome.
Okay, Pam?
Okay, so on page 32 of the report, it says the district will take out a Montana Drinking State Revolving Fund loan of $3,029,250 with a projected forgiveness of 25% and the interest rate 2.5, and so that will drive up the cost as Mike asked, by $648 per household. To me, it's not appropriate to have in the PER what we will do, because that's a board decision and that has not been decided by the board.
I will revise that to say that you guys may get out.
Another footnote in that, we have already appropriated in our current rate some of that increase already. So it's a little more complicated. So it's not gonna be $6, it might not even be $5. because we have factored in some of the capital improvement already in today's rate.
Well, yeah, and then
You know
if you
what I'm
guys
saying?
give us that number, we can adjust the funding
Right.
scenario, so
This-
to help
this-
to reduce the load.
This is more, there's no way you're gonna be 100% accurate here. So we have to have a guidepost, so it's up to the board later on to do this or not. They were just empowered to come up with a plan. We work the plan or we don't work, and how much we wanna kick in towards the project by our own cash, et cetera. So that's a very flexible component.
But the words should say that, because if
Right,
we adopt the
I agree.
PER,
Yeah,
it's,
let's shoot
it
her.
dictates it.
Okay, Tom, you had a question?
Not a question, I have a comment.
And if you
This
can
is
send
a
me those comments, I'll revise the
PER.
PR before it's 100%.
Okay,
This is the PER preliminary
Yeah,
Right.
it's not, we can't
report.
exclude all the
This is not
details.
an absolute
Exactly.
it's not a final report.
engineering report. This is a preliminary engineering report.
Right.
Don't hold everything to what is printed as being absolute, because it's only preliminary.
Right.
Any further comments from the public? Ming?
I just want, of course, we're gonna take a look at Main Street, because that seems to be where the problem is. And of course, we already have that in our budgets to look at our cast iron pipes. So those are the things that we're gonna look at immediately. But if you look at that whole budget, the AC pipe over 22 years, comes into the whole gambit. And Tom said, we're gonna look at the things that need to be done immediately. Main Street, cast iron pipe, and then go forward. The other ones are
I
there.
shouldn't speak for Lewis, but in their budget for the water and wastewater, 33% on their budget goes to replacing pipe, And I think it's around 100-year pipe they replace. So there's gotta be a program in place. And we're gonna be dead and long gone, but we have to have a program in place. It's not a question, should we replace the pipe or not? No. When? Okay. So we just completed a comprehensive study, and we should have the report by the end of the month. That will give us an indication where to start to dig. But we gotta dig somewhere, and we're not doing it. The city has the foresight. They have been doing it. Very aggressive plan, $3 to $5 million a year replacing pipes. So we need that plan, and I think by the end of November, we will have that ecological study, and that will tell us where to dig, Very good.
Brad, Gina, any final comments?
No, but we need to go over the environmental presentation before you guys start your regular report.
Yeah, do you
But
wanna
it's a lot
take-
quicker.
Do we wanna take a few minutes,
It's,
stretch our legs, or?
I mean, it's
we,
pretty
continue
quick,
on?
it's
It's a
already
lot
6.
shorter.
We're
So-
pushed for time this evening, so
Okay.
if we can just move into that.
Yippers.
What are you looking for? It doesn't have an environmental, there's these two.
Yeah, I
I think
pass
there's
those out.
No, there's just these two.
Yeah.
Don't you have one of these?
Take it out.
Rolled away fast.
No hurry.
Grab the chair. Grab a seat. Slowly grab a seat.
This is why we just went on.
Thank you so much.
Literally the same. Yeah, this is the one we just went over.
Yeah, I'm handing out the environmental presentation.
Right here. Come on, Doug.
It's just the one here, right?
Yep, take it. You're welcome. You're welcome. This is the fire. Yep.
This is an environmental man?
Correct.
Those were all wetlands there. Dinosaur bones.
Just don't tell anybody when you start digging.
I found one. Do I have a whole, I found one that says number one, but it's not the same.
There's only one exist for that.
Yeah, typically we do separate meetings, different times, but
Just quick second.
the height, yeah, is decided to,
Okay, so looking at this stuff here.
Does anyone need the responses? Or is that an option?
it's optional.
This is 11, 12, 8. No, 6. No, this is all 8, that's new stuff down there in the swamp. Yeah, blue is 6. Yeah, that's right there, the swamp is down there, this is all 8. Oh, which? Well, yeah, same place.
Oh, wait, no,
Yeah, you're big as life. Bigger than my wall.
Oh, I got it.
Yep.
no, technology. No.
You have to be finished by about 25 after.
Yeah, this one's quick.
Go right ahead.
You wanna hit the line?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, right here's the other one.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
The window.
That's fine.
That's fine, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just
fine.
leave it at that.
Let's go with it.
So now I'll discuss the environmental portion for the PER. The items for the environmental portion is the purpose of the environmental review, the letter sent to the agencies, the environmental categories, the environmental review, and then the findings of the environmental review, and then I'll get to some questions. So the purpose of the environmental review is that funding grants and construction projects are subject to the Montana Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA. The effects on the environment and on people from the proposed improvements must be considered, and all of the public must be informed on any of these potential impacts from the proposed project. NEPA specifies 3 levels for the environmental review. It's either exempt or excluded from NEPA, conducted environmental assessment, or EA, and then the final level is environmental impact statement, or EIS. So construction projects are not exempt from NEPA. Therefore, the proposed 2025 water system improvements are not. Now I'll discuss the environmental letters. The environmental letters are sent to a bunch of different agencies in order to solicit comments on the potential environmental impacts from the proposed project. The responses are incorporated in the EA and the environmental checklist. I'm not going to mention all of the agencies, but they include the Bureau of Indian Affairs, the BIA, Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, and the State Historic Preservation Office. The type of environmental categories include soils, wetlands, surface water, groundwater, floodplains, air quality, odor, solid or hazardous waste, animal and plant species of concern, wild and scenic rivers, underground storage tanks, energy consumption, and then the State Historic Preservation Office usually does a cultural inventory study if necessary. So now discuss the environmental review. The items include, you're supposed to discuss reasonable alternatives, then you discuss mitigation measures, if there's anything necessary to reduce impacts to the environment from the proposed project. Then you have to determine if an environmental assessment or an environmental impact statement is required. Then you have to involve the public, you have to state who is responsible for carrying, and then you have to discuss the other agencies involved. Multiple alternatives were evaluated for each water system component. The environmental review is only pursued for the highest priority projects or the 2025 projects. Handout number 1 displays the proposed 2025 projects. It includes Alt 4C, which is the Hilltop Reservoir improvements. It includes installing 960 feet of new 24-inch discharge mains, installing flow meters on the discharge mains, installing remotely operated or automated control valves, and implementing upgrades to the SCADA system.
Gina, can you use your outdoor voice as much as possible?
Am I really not that loud?
Maybe it's just because you're facing the corner.
Oh, gotcha. Sure. So phase 1 of Alt 6C includes upsizing 5,700 linear feet of existing 6-inch AC with new 8-inch PVC. Now I'll discuss the mitigation measures. The contractor will be required to have a stormwater pollution prevention plan, or a SWIP, if more than 1 acre of land is disturbed. The SWIP will implement best management practices, or BMPs, to maintain erosion control practices. Other mitigation measures include disposing of any AC pipe that is removed from the trench. The Montana Department of Environmental Quality requires that the AC pipe be bagged and removed and hauled off to a landfill if more than 3 feet are removed from the trench. The project specifications will include these requirements. The intent is to try to minimize AC pipe removal by offsetting the new main from the existing main and abandoning the existing AC in place. Although there will be AC pipe removal at the connections of the new pipe with the existing pipe. So is an environmental impact statement required due to the lack of wetland disturbance in all work within existing right-of-ways and in previously disturbed areas. Impacts are projected to be non-significant. Therefore, we feel that an EIS is not necessary. If the district agrees with these findings, they'll have to sign off on the ERR and pass a resolution accepting the findings of the environmental review report. One thing to note is that the SRF, if you guys do apply for SRF, they will conduct their own environmental assessment. So public involvement, this hearing was published in the November 8th and November 15th editions of the Yellowstone County News. The public is required to have a 30-day public comment from the first publishing date. The copy of the environmental review report, we actually have copies if anybody wants a copy, and there's also a link to the environmental review report on the district's website. And then after the 30-day review period, which would be December 9th, if the district agrees, they should pass a resolution accepting these findings. People involved, I prepared the environmental review report, and then, as I just stated, Heights will have to sign off on it if they agree. Now I'll open it up to any questions.
Gina, I have a question for you on the environmental letters. Do you think the city of Billings should be getting the letter? I see we're doing Yellowstone County Public Works and stuff, but some of the work we do will be within the city of Billings jurisdiction.
I think the county planner for the Northwest PER, they contacted the, Debbie, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
What was,
I think that's probably sufficient if it's going through the, because we have a joint county, city planning director, so if it's going there, then it'll get to it.
It'll get to it
Yeah.
eventually.
Yep.
Yeah?
Jeff? Oh, sorry.
So there are, thank you, Mr. Chairman. There was planned phases in 26, 27, 28, 29. Will those environmental reviews be done later then?
Yes, yeah, correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you have a question? Okay, Frank?
On page 14 or slide 14, AC pipe removal will be minimized by offsetting new main from existing main. How big a space do you need between them? And if you can leave the AC main in, why can't you pipe burst it and just keep doing it?
Because the DEQ, I mean, a lot of people have tried to pipe burst, but they consider pipe bursting that it becomes friable, and if it's friable, it's, you know, harmful to humans to inhale, so they don't allow pipe bursting. The DEQ does.
They do allow leave in place?
Yeah, they currently do.
Currently.
Yeah, yeah.
And there is,
Talk.
so there is some fear that you'll have to remove it. So if
At a
that
later
hasn't
date,
come-
you'd have to.
Not necessarily in that, but if you were to disturb it, you'd have to remove it, and or if your plan is to replace it functionality wise, you may have to remove, but it's not a requirement at this time.
So what's the separation distance? I mean, because you got sewer running in these streets too, and gas
I don't-
lines, so.
I'm not sure if there's a separation between the new AC and the existing AC, but I do know between sewer, there's a 10-foot horizontal separament.
I think you read off 3 foot. It's disturbed within 3 feet.
If you remove 3 feet, yeah,
Yeah.
from the trench.
Removing 3 feet, it has to be bagged.
Right, so
If you remove less than 3 feet, you don't have to bag it, take it to the landfill.
right, so if you were to move over 5 feet,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't have.
Not removing any of the AC, we don't have
No,
to. If you remove 3 feet or more, it must be bagged and taken in.
You're talking lineal feet.
Lineal feet of pipe.
Yeah, we're
Not
talking
separation.
separation, parallel separation.
And that's my question too, is what is the linear separation between the old AC so that it's not disturbed and the new PVC? If we have 2 foot, is that adequate?
Probably the width of the trench. The width of the trench will depend on the size of the pipe and
Other
the bedding
utilities,
area.
and there's a lot of different variables. That's why I said that's the intent, but, I mean, once we get into the design, we'll go over those, get them.
No, we're talking about a city street where we have houses on both sides. And this district's policy is to replace the service line up to the curb box when we replace pipe. It's old, this is old. So we'll be putting service lines both ways in the street. So obviously, one of them will cross the existing AC is to put in a new service line. Is that allowed without touching the AC pipe?
Yep,
Just go
they
over
can
the top
accommodate
of
that.
it.
Right, you have a question?
I had one, but I can't remember what it was.
Is there any questions from the public? on the environmental?
Yeah, I have several questions. Number one, will the, going along with what Tom said, will the new existing line be at the same level, lower level, higher level?
And that would concern me as far as crossing to put new services in. So is that to be designed, or what's the deal on that?
Well, we have to bury minimum with a 6.5 foot cover, and that's the standard for the district for the
Right.
sake of frost level.
Right, I understand.
You know, surprisingly, you'll find that a lot of pipes, older pipes, are not buried that deep.
Right.
So-
That was my concern. Yeah, are they gonna, yeah, a lot of pipes are way higher than they're supposed to be. So if they're gonna put a new pipe in at the same level, that's my question. Are they going to, or are they gonna go down to where they have to be?
And it'll have to be at the minimum 6.5 foot cover, and they can make accommodations to get those services hooked to them.
Right, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
it's not a big issue.
All right.
So, Gina, do you have an estimate on what percent of the cost of, installing
Also,
new
there's a separate one.
main, if you leave if you have to take AC out or leave it in, how much does it add to the cost replacing the main? Do you have any percentage? Like, is it like 10% more to remove AC and package it, and take it to the landfill? Or,
I haven't done that analysis, but I could as part of the PER before we adopt the final one.
Well, it all depends on quantities too. If
Yeah.
you're talking about a small quantity, you know, they're, you know, like, it's kind of like putting in 100 feet of new water main. You're gonna get nicked a lot higher per linear foot for the molding and all that versus a larger quantity. Same would probably apply to the AC pipe. I would assume that the large.
I don't know what they charged, because the one we replaced on East Wicks Lane, they hauled all that off. And so, I would have to look and see if they itemize that separately on the bill.
That'd be the, as far as bid tabs go, that'd be the most accurate, since it is a pretty fresh one.
Tom?
Like Frank said, they did some on the east end of Wicks, and they didn't spend an hour a day disposing AC pipe on site. They had it put together and bagged and ready to haul off with the dump. They would dig, throw the pipe aside, at the end of the day, they put it all together and broke it into links that could be bagged it, took them an hour.
There are federal regulations on this too. I think that we should leave it up to the expert when that date comes. In the interest of time, I think I have some people waiting to join our meeting.
And if you'd like us to pull some bid tabs from other projects in the last couple of years to look and see what, you know, give you a range of what it's looking like right now, we sure can.
Did we get any texts or any emails or letters in regards to the environmental review or
From the public?
from the public?
No, but from Pam.
Okay.
And from Lewis.
Yeah.
If any come in between now
Right.
and the end
Yeah,
of
yeah,
30 days, they can be attached to the
Absolutely.
report.
They, yes, and my email and my address is in the public notice, and we also have a verification that the notice went out and that sort of thing.
So, for just to confirm, the public's able to make comments until December 9th?
Correct.
Correct.
Thank you.
Can we thank Brad and Gina and also Louis for taking time out and his schedule? And I also like to say that we're working closer and closer with the city of Billings. Ever since I joined, we pick up the phone and we share ideas and we look at them as our big brothers and we create policies and things. So thanks again for your input, Louis.
And
We really
thanks to the
appreciate it.
public for showing up
Oh,
and
yeah.
showing interest.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, with that, we will adjourn the public hearing. And it's 6:21 PM. And we'll move right away to our board meeting. And the board meeting is open to any and all customers, or any and all public also. So if you want to stay, you're more than welcome to stay.
And
Can we also make sure, since people came in late, that they got signed up, so we have it recorded in the minutes?
Okay,
But also, they need
we're
to
gonna,
sign.
in the essence of time, we have to move on so that we can get the people that are waiting on time. So, is there any public
Not as much as they,
that would like to comment on any non-agenda items? Any public on non-agenda items? Seeing none, Tom, you had a, who was it? We move on to the approval of the minutes.
I make a motion we approve the minutes. Both October 21st.
Moved by Frank, seconded by Tom. Is there any discussion on the minutes from the 16th or the 21st? Seeing none, we'll take a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pardon?
Jeff,
All opposed, please signify by saying aye. Unanimous. Jeff,
What did you vote?
approve the minutes? Approve the minutes.
Oh, check.
You got objecting to it?
No.
Oh, okay. That is unanimous. Consent agenda. Does any member wish to segregate any item on the consent agenda? Pam?
Well, I have questions on the balance sheet, the expense statement, and Steeple.
So two,
And Jeff has already said he wants to separate Steeple.
Number
2, 4, and
6.
6.
Okay. Any others, segregation by anyone? So the motion,
I make a motion, we approve consent agenda 1, 3, 5, and 7.
Second.
moved by Frank and seconded by Tom to approve the consent agenda items 1, 3, 5, and 7. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes unanimous. Now we'll move
I
to
don't think we have time to do that. They're coming out
5
6:30,
minutes.
we can get to.
All our people waiting.
Yeah.
They're on.
You're on right now?
Yeah.
Let's move them in now, and then we can
Then
go
we can come
over
back to the separations.
to the separation.
Jenna, could you guys introduce yourself to the board? Yeah.
Hey, Bo, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, I'm here.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Jose Leyva. I'm one of the retirement counselors here at Fisher Retirement Solutions. We are the financial advisor for the retirement plan currently. Currently, we're working with Ascensus as the record keeper for the plan. But here we have Jana Jin as the representative for Paychex. We're looking to transfer the plan over to Paychex, and she has a little bit of a presentation to kind of go over the basics for the plan at Paychex, and I'll give her a second here to introduce herself. Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you so much, Jose. My name is Jana, and I'm a representative of Paychex. I am also a licensed individual, and I'm looking forward to working with you guys. We are the largest record keeper in the nation, and we actually combine our services with the record keeping and the TPA, which stands for Third Party Administration. So, as I am aware, you guys have two separate systems right now with the record keeper and the third party administration. So this essentially will combine those two aspects together to create a little more efficiency for the county water district of Billings Heights. And I do have the proposal, Bo. I sent that over to you. Did you need me to put that on the screen to share?
Well, it's in the package, but yeah, go ahead and do that, but it should be in the packet. But you go ahead and do your thing, okay?
Very good, very good. Okay, and to give you guys a little more idea of how our system works, basically, like I said, it has the two components that are together. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right here. And let's, I believe this one there. Can you see that okay?
Yep.
Okay, so, as you know, you guys have your own payroll, system, which is
Page
completely
65.
fine. So
Page
basically, we get all of these different aspects for you, and we combine them to make more efficiency out of your guys' system. So there's no, having to
Pam, this is
go
page
ahead
65.
and
Yeah,
not
I got it separated out.
Yeah, there's no having to separate that out and having to manually kind of quarterback between the systems of your third-party administration and the record keeping. So it has that right there, and it's pretty easy because of the full integration with those two systems. The thing that's really nice for the employees that are using that system is that they have that mobile app, but they can also log in. And it's very, very easy when you take a look at that mobile app. It lays everything out here so they can see their investment, how much is in their total balance, their vested balance year to date. They can even click on each one of the funds to see exactly what is in those funds. So it can be as interactive as the participant needs to be. On the administrative side, it is fairly easy to read. It's not super fancy, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for that efficiency, especially the time savings for you guys because we understand how busy you are. If any of the participants need to toggle it, it does toggle into Spanish, so they can read it in Spanish on their side as well. And then we also have the last but not least, definitely we want to look at the bottom line of things, and that is the cost. Since we are the #1 record keeper in the nation, we do 1 in every 6 plans out there, and so that is by client choice. When you look at different record keeping services, a lot of them are through mergers and acquisitions, but this is because our clients want to use our system, and so they come to us. And so we're able to come to you guys at a competitive rate and give you some savings there as well. And I believe that's all in the package. Did anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Question, we're gonna do both?
Perhaps we should do both in interest of time for them, you know. Oh, well, you're gonna ask her a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you mind if we asked you the questions, Jenna?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Tom?
All right, right off the bat, you don't have our deal, but you sent us a page where it says your retirement plan proposal prepared for a county water district of Billings Heights, 401k profit sharing plan. I
Yes.
cannot accept a profit sharing plan. This is a government entity, it is a nonprofit. There's no way to declare a profit. On page
Yes.
77, it says the same. I have serious problems with this. I have asked for the details, and I spent the morning in Bo's office, and he had a binder of about 200 pages, and I need changes. Can you give us a plan that has the district or employer contribution to be solely a matching contribution, no profit sharing?
Yes, sir.
All right,
So-
the district should match 100% of the employee's contribution up to 10%. I don't wanna match after 10%, but we should match dollar for dollar, not 50 cents on the dollar, but dollar for dollar up to 10%. The employee should be able to modify his contributions at the start of each year. Once it's set, I want the same contribution for that employee the entire year. I don't want any changes, because that costs administration fees. I want this to be cheap on administration. Next, all contributions are to be made at each of the district's pay periods. We pay every 2 weeks. I want the district to subtract from the employee what his contribution is, add the district's contribution, and send it to you. It's done, it's over, it's invested. No catches, no BS about an employee has to work the last day of the year and all this. That just requires more administration. I want a 5-year vesting period. We do not allow a brand-new employee to be part of this 401. It's a perk. It's a way to try to keep people employed in the district. It's a perk.
It's fine.
So I want a 5-year vesting plan where after 1 year, they can get 10% of the district's money. After 2 years, they can get 15. After 3 years, they can have 30. After 4 years, 60. And after 5 years, they get 100%. I don't want this 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. This is an incentive to keep people to work. If we're gonna have a vesting period, it's gotta be for incentive to stay with us. I also want, once an employment ceases for any reason, whether he's terminated, quits, is disabled, sick, dies, or retires, I want a definite period that they are responsible to convert to their own IRA, cash it out, whatever. I don't want this district paying administrative fees on ex-employees forever. I want a finite period, I'm gonna say 100 days. All rollovers, whether they go in or come out, follow IRS rules. Now that's the 7 things I want to see in here, and I don't see them. Can you do that? Can you make these changes so that this is what we have?
Yes, sir. We can absolutely make those changes. That's not a problem. Simply what we did in the adoption agreement is what you guys had as your current plan, and so we just mirrored that. So with those different changes, I can certainly work with Jose on that, where we changed the match from dollar to dollar, 1 to 10% in that match. You said you want to do 100% vesting after 5 years on a grade. We can certainly do that as well. That's not a problem or an issue. Per pay period, we can also do that and execute that. That's not a problem again. With employee ceasing and determination and having that move to an IRA, I'm going to ask Jose for a little clarification on that, because certainly we work with companies that can move them out during the termination. Once they are terminated, they will receive notices. It gets pushed into an IRA, so they are no longer in that plan any longer, and that IRA is set for them to decide whether they want to move it into a different 401k, into an IRA, whatever that they need. That is set. We can certainly accommodate any of those things that you are asking. The profit sharing is simply just a term that is in there. It is discretionary. We understand that you are a nonprofit. I work with many nonprofits. That has nothing to do really with that plan. It is there as an option on the discretionary basis that does not have to be used whatsoever if you guys are not using that. If you want to change the terms of the naming, I can certainly change that to have it just a County Water District of Billings Heights 401k.
I prefer that, because that is what we had now. The profit sharing was supposed to be discretionary, but once it was given every year for decades. I don't want any wording of it. I want to help people retire. I don't want to give them a retirement package.
Miss Jen, you'll have to look back in the 80s when this 401k profit sharing was enacted, because I know it's a term and we need to change that like Tom says. But these are Tom's requests, they're not the board's request right now. Because I think you're gonna find a lot of them to be the board's request, but these are just Tom's requests now. So remember that on the vesting period.
Yes.
I thought right now the employee was vested after 1 year.
No.
No, and I can do a little bit explaining there. I'm sorry, what was your name, sir?
Mine or Doug?
Yeah, that was Tom and
Doug.
Doug. So Doug, the way the vesting currently works with the plan, so there are two things, right? We want to talk about eligibility, which is one thing, and we want to talk about vesting, which is another thing. So when it comes to the eligibility for the plan, so this is the rules that an employee has to follow before they can join the retirement plan. You have it as most restrictive as the Department of Labor allows it, which is the employee has to be 21 years old and they have to have been with the business for 1 year and have completed 1,000 hours in that year, which would exclude a lot of part-timers. You, by law, can't really say you're excluding part-timers, so by putting an hours requirement, you kind of bypass that, right? So that is the eligibility requirement, and that's the requirement to join the retirement plan. Now, once the employee reaches that 1 year of service, they've been with the company for 1 year, they're able to enter the plan on the first quarter of the following quarter, or I should say the first day of the following quarter. So I'll just give you guys an example. If somebody got hired today, they would become, their eligibility requirements, as long as I completed 1,000 hours, would be on November 20th of 2025, but I wouldn't be able to enter the plan until the 1st of 2026. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
So that's eligibility. So that's the rules for joining the plan. Now, what Tom and Doug, what you might be referring to where it comes to vesting, right, that's regarding the employer money, the money that you guys are giving them for match, and in the past it sounds like profit share, right? So that match and the profit share year after year is going to be discretionary. What that means is the board, year after year, the company gets to decide if they're going to give that match to the employees or not. You always have the option, year after year. But when you do give that money to the employees, there comes a 5-year vesting graded schedule, which is what Janet was talking about. Now for that, after year 1, the employee gets 20%, 40, 60, and so on to kind of dangle that carrot in front of them. That way they stay with the company for at least 5 years. That way they have a majority of the assets invested, right? And this is just for the employer part. The employee money is always going to be theirs 100%. They can take it with them at any time. But when you're talking about the employee, that's what's subject to a 5-year vesting. The most restrictive that you can have the vesting is a 6-year graded schedule. So what that is you just add another year. After, they would have to wait 2 years in order to receive 20%. After that, it follows the same graded schedule as a 5-year graded. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Yeah, yes, Tom?
You can't do a progressive rate like 10, 15, 30, 60, 100? You can't do that?
Unfortunately, not in retirement plans. So you have the option of doing a graded schedule or a cliff. It's what's called a cliff schedule. So the cliff schedule, it's all or none. So, you know, this is for the board to decide if they want to change it to do it this way. But the way a cliff schedule works is it's all or none, right? So you have to wait a certain number of years in order for the employee to get 100% of the employer money or none of it. The most you can do for a cliff schedule is 3 years, but for a graded, because you're giving them X amount per year, you can actually extend that out to 6 years. Does that make sense?
It makes sense what you're saying, Jose, but my wife had a plan with Dillard's years ago, and she couldn't have any of Dillard's money for 5 years. Is that law changed? That was a cliff program, but you couldn't have any of the company's contributions until 5 years. Has that changed? Is that no longer legal for a cliff program?
They can have their own plan.
Yeah. What you might be referring to, Tom, could be a pension plan. I know they have different rules. I'm not sure if it was entirely a 401k,
Yes.
right? There's different kind of retirement plans out there in the space. I know back in the day, pension plans used to be very favored, right? And that was kind of the way people did it. The good thing about moving to 401k is that they're employee directed, right? So the employee always gets to decide how much they're saving. They get to decide what their investments are. They're participant directed accounts. And so I'm not entirely sure to answer your question if the rules have changed. I can definitely look at the history of the vesting schedules, but the current rules are that You can have up to a 6-year graded vesting schedule or a 3-year cliff vesting schedule.
Further questions?
May I ask, there are two issues here. I was empowered back in April to find a replacement to the administrator and the record keeper, Randall Hurley, in a census. Okay. So what we're talking about is the plan itself, how it's structured. I've asked these fine people to copy what we already have with some slight modification. And today I asked Tommy to come into my office early to go through the 185 page contract. And then I had Jen go through, what, a 200 page on the design. So there is a resolution, Josh, here that says to accept Paycheck and Fisher. Okay. So what I like to recommend to the board is to accept these fine people that made this presentation, that we go with them. How we design the plan itself, it would take forever, but if you, the board, can appoint Tommy and the administrative staff to deal with those details without changing the cost to Heights Water, you know, because we're now missing the target. You know, we're aiming over here now. You asked me to find a replacement for a census. And I think this, I have personal experience with Paycheck for well over 20 years. Okay, how you design that plan is a different issue. How you design the plan. And trust me, they can accommodate, based on the 200 pages that John, they can accommodate anything you want. And it requires a different board meeting to go involved in those. And I think Tom can go through all this, and we'll make a proposal to the board on how to structure the new summary plan description. The current summary plan description is, what, Josh, 20 years old, something?
Well, it goes back.
It goes back, way back. It was just
Right, so
renewed.
it needs to be updated. Trust me, it needs to be updated. But you asked me, we gotta get rid of a census. Okay, this is the proposal. They made a perfect proposal, and we're going to save approximately a little less than $2,000 going with the top people in this country to manage our 401k retirement. We have one employee sitting here, and they want to have this resolved. Trust me, we have the money sitting in a third-party account earning peanuts. They want to have control over what is rightfully their money, and I highly recommend that the board accept the proposal and appoint a committee. With Tom, I asked him to come in. He's very detail-oriented. He knows this. Work with Jen, Josh, and I like to have an employee represented. Adam is sitting here. Perhaps he can represent the employee to go through this as a committee and come up with a proposal to the board. But we got to solve this for the employees. They need closure on this. They need to have the money rightfully there transferred to their account.
Frank?
So, Bo, what you're saying is you wanna approve this, system here.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna work out the intricate parts, so it can't be used by the employees until we get the intricate parts worked out between you and Tom and the employee.
Well, they need for them to take over the money. By the way, Jose has been working with us for several years. The money is already at Fisher. The employees like Fisher. The big change is what we call the administrative portion and the record keeping. The record keeper is federal government. So when you tell me to stop paying a census, we have a plan approved by the federal government, IRS. This is important things. We have to move on.com and help our employees get their money into their accounts.
Pam?
Well, I'd say a couple of things. One, our plan says the employees don't get their money until after December 31st for the matching funds. So it doesn't, even if it's approved tonight, they don't get the money anyway, because that's what the plan says. I won't.
May I
Can I
say
finish?
something?
Can I finish?
Yeah.
And I won't vote for the resolution as it's written, because it accepts the plan as it was past written. I don't think you heard us when we talked, because what Tom is talking about, we have talked about on this board multiple times. We won't accept money going out without a match. That's been clear. I have an alternative resolution, but it's not as complete as Tom's. So, no, you didn't listen. There's more than just getting a new administrator. There's also changing how the money goes out.
And that's what he's proposing.
Yeah.
Accept him as an administrator.
But
And then
that's,
set
but
a
that's not in
committee.
the, but that is not in the resolution. The resolution says we accept the plan as written, and we don't.
The resolution, we can add, we can take away, we can refuse the whole thing, yeah. Right. It's a piece of paper.
Well, and I
we're gonna
do-
do that.
And I do
I
have an
the floor
alternative
right
written.
now. That's not on the floor. We're listening to the presentation from these people, and then we'll discuss this. So it's questions to them. I do have a question. How soon would you be able to do this if the board gave the go-ahead this evening?
Yeah, good question, Doug. We can get working on this as soon as possible, and we could start probably tomorrow, honestly. The whole process typically takes between 60 to 90 days, and the reason why it takes a while is because we have to provide the notices to the employees, letting them know about the change, right? With regulations we have to kind of follow. There's a 30-day notice that has to go out to the employees. We have to get the system set up on the payroll end, making sure that payrolls start going there, and contributions start going there. And then there's also a blackout period. Typically it's about a couple weeks, usually 2 weeks. Usually the blackout period allows them any new money to stop coming into a census, and allows the census to kind of do the final reconciliation of all the amounts, all the monies that are in there, final testing, and then the money gets moved over to Paychex as the provider.
Am I hearing like January 1st or the first pay period in January?
Yeah, I would say to kind of set clear expectations, I would say probably sometime in February would probably be the soonest, middle of February.
Okay. And that is for both Paycheck and Fisher?
He already sits with the money. He is
Yeah.
already engaged. The administrative part and the record keeper is Paycheck. And
Right.
these are government-controlled things, okay? And we have to file, 550 report with the government at the end of the year on the plan, and calibrate it if it's top-heavy or not. There's a lot of things that is beyond the control of this board.
Yeah.
And we cannot stop that process. I do not recommend you do that.
Jeff?
I have a question for Jose in that regard.
Yep.
Sir, so it would, if we would pass the resolution and adopt the plan as it is currently worded, would that restrict the ability of this board and Tom and the employees to work on modification to update those terms, as the one director indicated he'd like to discuss?
Not at all. So the thing with retirement plans is you can kind of change them. Let me figure out how to word this right. So there's kind of a couple of rules that the IRS puts in place, right? Typically, if it's something that's being more restrictive, less of a benefit, you're taking benefits away from the employees, it's something that you have to wait until the beginning of the following year. Typically, you have to wait till the beginning of a new year. If it's something that's being to the benefit of the employee, right, you're kind of making the plan less restrictive when it comes to eligibility, or something that's a favored benefit for the employee, you can do that at any time during the plan year. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Jeff?
just a follow-up
Follow-up?
question then. So we're mid-November. I mean, if Tom and the group gets their nose to the grindstone, and the board is willing to make a modification, would it be possible to get that done by January 1, 25 at this point?
And I think, Jana, this might be a question for you since the Paychex will be handling the administration for the plan. Is that something, if we're looking to make any changes to the plan document, is that something we can get implemented by 1/1/2025?
I certainly believe that we can do that. Really, we have an effective date of December, so we can start even doing the contributions through Paychex at that point of the effective date. So I think it's going to be a little earlier. When everything does transition over, should be nearing February. But yes, we can modify. And let me just, it's not safe harbor, so that should be fine as long as we do that 30-day notice within the compliance of ERISA and the IRS.
Jenna, if the 30-day notice is sent out to the employees, if the employees all sign off on it within 2 to 3 days, does that help you? In other words, you don't have to waste that 30-day period if all the employees would sign off on it.
We still, by federal guidelines, have to send out a 30-day notice. That's just kind of written into law. Regardless of whether they sign into it or not, a notification has to go out 30 days beforehand.
But after the notice has been sent out, you have to wait for the 30 days?
Yes.
If you get response from everyone? Okay.
There is that waiting period that we have to issue, yeah.
Gotcha.
Mr. Chairman, do you want, if questions are asked, we're gonna let them go and then take this up later in the meeting? What's your plan?
We'll take up the resolution later in the meeting. Questions for
That was
these?
what I wanted to know. What's the
Guys,
status?
Tom?
I have a question for Jen. She's the administrator. Obviously, we can't have our prorated eligibility or vesting period. But any of my other changes, are they gonna increase or decrease or change administrative fees in any way, shape, or form?
No, none of the fees change on any of those changes, and that's kind of the nice thing about using Paychex is when you do want to do some of those modifications or amendments, there's no extra charge on that end to do that.
Yeah, and Tom, I will add there, just to kind of piggyback there, is because currently the plan is split up with 2 providers, right? You have a census on one end doing the record keeping. Think of them as the bank. That's where the money is stored. We use their platform. And then they're also, we have another company called Randall Hurley currently doing the administration for the plan, right? The compliance testing. You're going to pair both of them together with Paychex. And so by pairing them together, they're able to handle everything. Typically, when you work with these they're called third-party administrators, kind of like Randall Hurley are. They're great. They help you out a lot with hands-on, but they do tack on quite a bit of fees when you're making changes to the plan document. And the reason behind that is they're usually tend to be smaller, kind of more boutique firms, right? That focus on the administration. But they do tend to kind of charge a little bit more because they have to meet that quota because they are smaller. With Paychex, you kind of have the size, right, and the administration. They kind of they kind of do a little bit of everything, right? They do payroll, record keeping, administration. So that's the nice thing with them. And even if we decide to make future amendments, Paychex currently does not charge any additional fees for any amendments.
Any other comments from the board or questions? This is a proposal from them. The public will get to comment when there's a resolution made, if I'm not mistaken. So, alrighty. Well, we thank Jose and Ms. Jenna for taking the time out of your evening to help us out. Thank you so very much. And educate us, yes, especially me.
So, of course, and thank you all for your time. We really appreciate it. Bo, if you guys have any questions and want to write them down and just have Bo either follow up with me, I'm more than happy to answer them and making sure that everybody gets the answers that they need. Once you guys discuss it here a little bit further. So never feel free to reach out to me here at Fisher or Jana. I'm sure she's happy to answer questions as well. Again, if there's anything else that comes up after we leave, just feel free to reach out, okay?
Very
Thank you
good.
very much.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Happy Thanksgiving, thank you all.
Thank you,
Take care.
Jenna. Both of these guys have been very, very helpful in the last several months with this, when they back and forth. And my first experience with 401K was back in 1973 when the RISA law came. And since then, the 401K regulation of retirement, every year there's change, modification. So that's why I recommend the board nominate Tom to head up this subcommittee. Why? I mean, the option, the 200-page, you can dovetail and do anything you want with this plan. It's too complicated, and we could not deal with it on the board level. It's too many things. So I like to see Tommy head it up, Jenny on the committee, but I also like to see Adam. He's sitting here. He represents the employee. I like their input. I think it's important. And it's up for the board to decide.
Okay, with the board's approval, I'd like to finish with our old business, being that we just listened to them and it's fresh in mind, and then we'll move back to the consent agenda, if that's okay.
We're gonna go to the resolution on this
Yes.
one now.
Okay, resolution 3424.
What page is that,
So,
please?
Page 80.
can I make a motion to adopt 3424 as revised? And I have a copy of my revision. And if that goes down, we can go back to, if the second, I'd like to be able to discuss my proposal.
I would accept your movement of the 34-24, and then your amendment to it, and then we'll discuss, and then vote. Another, Mr. Esman?
I'll move adoption of resolution 3424.
I'll second that.
Moved by Jeff,
Second by Tom.
second by Tom. Discussion.
Okay, so can I pass this out?
Give us your amendment, or what you want to do.
I'll wait till he gets here. It doesn't cover everything that Tom brought up, but Tom's original point he brought up months ago, and there was a lot of support. So what I suggest doing, because this says that we're gonna comply with the Billings Employee Retirement Summary Plan description of January 2022. I personally think that should be crossed out, but I've added, and the Personnel Policy Manual revised February 27, 2018, page 9, modified as follows. The district participates in a retirement plan after a period of 12 consecutive months of full-time employment. An employee may be eligible to participate in the district's retirement plan. Then I crossed out the next part of that paragraph. The retirement plan what I crossed out is a retirement plan consists of two parts. One part is retirement in the profit sharing, which is present time becoming eligible for a 5% of gross earnings. This is an annual election of the board. The board's never elected that. That's created all the problems because they're not supposed to get that money until after December 31st. So just cross that out and say the retirement package is a 401k matching fund. When the employee is eligible to participate, the district, what's in our current plan is the district will match 50 cents on the dollar contributed by the employee. The maximum matching shall not exceed 10% of gross pay. To me, that just simplifies it. We get out of the whole conflict that we were in. The other ideas that Tom brought up, we can work in, but if we get rid of the profit sharing, we get rid of all the conflict. They are public employees. If they were a county employee, a school district employee, a city employee, they would get 8% from the government entity, and they'd have to contribute 8%. We're doing 10%, a 10% match, and I'm fine if Tom wants to do the one-on-one up to 10%. But what's currently in our policy is 50 cents on the dollar.
Tom?
I won't support what Pam's asking to do here. I'll support adopting this resolution as long as it's amended to have a committee of board members and employees go through the details and iron them out within 2 weeks.
Jeff?
Well, I think both Pam and Tom have got great suggestions. I mean, I think it's incumbent on us to, as soon as possible, initiate what we have currently showing, or what's currently in our documents, and get that straightened away. So, you know, Tom, I would suggest that perhaps it would be easier to amend Pam's amendment with additional language if she's amenable to that.
Well, I haven't heard second to her amendment.
That is correct, so that's what we're discussing now. We'll try to get a second and maybe get something done.
If I can have some more leeway, if I could ask you guys to look at resolution 33 that deals.
What page is that on?
It's on page 82.
3324 is on page 80.
82.
Oh,
3324
is 80, page 82.
This one.
We can only have 2 motions on
I know,
time.
I wanted you to read this one over because it has bearings on the other one.
Right, so I don't wanna make a motion on 83324. Instead, I'll make an amendment, since Pam's wasn't, that we adopt 3324 and have it set up a committee to
34,
resolve.
3324.
3324.
Yeah, rescind the motion.
3424, I'm sorry.
3424.
34. And I don't wanna rescind the other motion yet, 3422, to have a committee of board members, no more than 3, and employees to work out the fine points and bring them to the board within 2 weeks, so that the whole thing can be adopted. That's my amendment, if
So your amendment is on 3424.
34.
Can you state your amendment again, because I might second that.
Accept the 3424.
This is
Committees,
this is not.
no more than 2 board members, no more than 2 employees, work out the fine points, and bring it back to the board within 2 weeks.
And Bo.
Pardon?
And Bo.
And both, of course, I'm sorry. Now, no matter what, the president of the board can sit on any committee, so, I
But
mean, he's not.
I think it's important, Tommy, that you chair the committee.
Well, I'm not gonna say I need to,
Well,
maybe.
but
Pam.
any
I'm
subcommittee
not
of the board,
Let's set
you
up
need
a
a chair.
committee and get to work.
of the board.
Okay,
2 weeks' time, I'll second that motion for discussion.
Tom,
I think it's important to get this done. We had a work session on it back in February. And this
okay,
is the kind of things we
Frank's
discussed.
amendment, or Tom's amendment is to add into it, a committee of 2 employees and 2 board members, plus the general manager, and, have them work out
The fine.
the final points on this, and get back to the board in 2 weeks.
Who selects the 2 board members?
President always has the right to appoint committee members, people who
We'll have to
volunteer.
pass this first unless you want that.
First
Well,
thing
it
the
could
board
make a difference.
The board member, the president will appoint them.
Can I ask it? So what I'm confused about though is if we adopt the resolution as it's written, it says we're adopting the current plan, which is, I think, unacceptable to everybody.
This is
But we
Tom's
can
amendment
change the
to it.
current plan
Then
Okay,
easily.
so then
Adjust the
do
plan.
we reject the resolution when in 2 weeks?
We can accept to get Randall Hurley and the census out of the equation and get the paycheck and Fisher
We can adopt the
solely.
resolution at the
And-
next board.
The committee will refine the fine points and
There,
bring the revision.
there really are
to the
2
board.
issues, and I can't stress, Adam is sitting here, and he was in the meeting with the employee and me, when they stopped working until they could get their money, okay? And their quarterly statement clearly says that their plant is non-contributing, which means we're not putting any money in. And in the statement, it says corporation, 0 for the profit sharing, and the other contribution, 0. And why was it just discovered the other week? Because they get quarterly statements. So the quarterly statement, this was in April when the board took this decision. They couldn't see that, oh, you're not matching my money.
I didn't think we stopped matching the money, we just said we weren't gonna put in.
Well, where is the
Right,
money?
but they didn't see that.
Where's the money?
That's what we did.
There is no
that.
state.
Me?
I think, if I'm not
Anyway,
mistaken,
I think this is water over the dam.
Yeah.
I don't mean to bring it up, you know.
the problem was, the city and the state bank not making anything at this time.
Which
Whereas-
is another frustration of
That's
that.
correct. And so what happens is, it's what, 0.5% interest in that First Interstate Bank? If it goes
I
right,
call for the question on the amended motion.
On the amendment. On the amendment to the motion.
I will reject it, and we'll just move on with the vote, because it's been moved and seconded. We have to have public comment yet, and then vote. Public comment?
On the amendment.
And
The amended motion, yes.
No, not the
Hasn't been
amendment. On the
amended yet.
amendment, and then we gotta vote on that motion.
Okay, so we'll take a vote on the amendment, and then we'll take a final vote on the resolution. So, all in favor of amending Resolution 34-24, provide or appoint 2 employees and 2 board members. The 2 employees would be appointed by Bo, and the 2 board members I will appoint. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Amendment passes. Now,
We got the amended motion.
the resolution as amended.
now we'll vote the resolution as amended.
2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, we got the 2 weeks extension, but you have that in your. Okay. Any discussion on it?
I just think we should call for public comment again, since the amendment's now on the
Yeah.
resolution.
Any public comment on the amended resolution?
I have a question. Are you guys gonna match it dollar to dollar or 50 cents on the dollar?
That's
the
to be
committee's gonna
determined.
come
That's to
up
be
with.
determined.
Pardon me?
That's to be determined.
Oh,
as
okay,
it- as it
because
was
I didn't
amended.
hear you say you were, that's on this sheet. Okay,
Well, except right now, we're matching 50 cents on the dollar,
So
so
9 points we want to revise.
that's the current,
that would be
that's the
part
current
of the,
plan.
okay, thank you.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Wait, there's
Aye.
one more question.
Oh, another.
I have a question.
Wait, sir, sir, there's somebody ahead of you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What's your timeline?
Stand up.
What's your timeline?
Timeline on this is as soon as possible for the employee's sakes.
2 weeks for the
So
committee.
there's 2 weeks for the committee. Hopefully, we can get back and make a decision at that point in time. Now you may, sir.
Okay, question, number 1, can the Heights Water Board afford what they're proposing? Is the money in the budget?
Yes.
Yeah. It is, okay.
And we're paying it now.
Yeah,
It's no different than what is happening right now.
It's actually less.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. Any other public comments or questions? All in favor of amended resolution 3424, as amended, 3424, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed, and I would like to appoint Tom, and do I have a volunteer, and Pam. And Tom, if you would work with Bo to set up a time frame as soon as possible. And that's 2 weeks. Okay.
I want to make a motion, if I can, to approve resolution 3324, which rescinds the old, and I'll discuss it in a second.
I second it.
I want to do this because right now, January 31st, New Year's Eve, day,
December 31st.
December 31st, New Year's Eve day, as we have now, somebody in this building has to move a substantial amount of money between about 8 different accounts and get everything right. This is New Year's Eve. Most people are thinking about the party they're going to at night or what they're doing New Year's Eve day, a holiday. This is a substantial amount of money that needs to be moved and allocated to our employees and get it done right. This isn't the day to do it. Now is the time to do it. Rescind this, get the money allocated, get it put in the employees' names where it belongs.
Okay, it's been moved by Tom, seconded by Ming to pass resolution 3324, and it's on page 82 if anybody missed here. Discussion. Need no board discussion.
What is 3324?
33.
What is it?
It's
Rescinding.
rescinding.
Rescinding what?
Resolution
No retirement plan.
724,
720
we
cash.
don't pay the retirement money in until the end of the year. It's in page
Yeah.
82.
Any comments?
We do it now. We send the resolution, send it.
All in favor of passing resolution 3324, please signify by saying aye.
Rescinding.
Aye.
Aye.
Passing the
Passing the
resolution.
Oh, passing the
Rescinding it, yes.
It says
Motion
rescinding.
passes unanimous.
Now we're back to
Consent agenda.
Yes, now we're gonna go back to the,
balance sheet. Item 2, I move to accept the balance sheet on the consent agenda for a second.
First, you gotta find out who separated it.
I
so they
separated
can-
it, I have a quick,
Well, we
I-
can't discuss anything without a motion, so I move to approve.
okay.
okay.
If somebody wants to discuss it, they better say.
I'll second.
Then moved and seconded to accept the balance sheet.
What page is that on?
That's on page 22
22
to
through
5.
25.
Any discussion?
So I have a question.
Go ahead. Tom.
I know it's different, but I talk about this every month. The balance sheet shows in the gross income fund, we have $1,265,234 earning nothing and not FDIC insured. We've talked repeatedly about let's get that money moved out to STIP so that we can be generating the 4.5%. And yet it doesn't happen. So what will it take to get that to happen so we don't leave $1.2 million sitting there earning nothing month after month?
Tom?
This is a day-to-day decision made by the general manager, and it should be left to his discretion, not the board.
Board has responsibility.
Mr. Chairman, I disagree with Director Buen's take on this because we are the trustees for this is our customers' money. And I think if we can do better for the customers, it's incumbent upon us to provide direction to our staff to do better. So I don't know why all this money is sitting around idle with Stifel. We'll take that up because that was my concern, or with First Interstate Bank, or with any of these other accounts that are paying 0.5% of interest or plus or minus. Why is the money just sitting there? Do we need it from an operating standpoint?
Okay.
I thought we discussed that last time and the
I'll
answer was
accept
no.
a response from the general manager. Well,
I sent you an email last week about the funds we transfer from Stifel to Stiff and also from Yellowstone Bank. And we did that, it was 900. Now, what do you think we have over under cash? We just got a bill for how much? 850,000? It's called cash management. You know, I enjoy criticism, no problem. Constructive criticism, okay? And you just gotta shoot from the hip. That's not constructive.
Well, it shows it in there. It's just helpful to have the
Please,
question answered.
please. raise your hand when you want to speak, and I'll recognize you
Okay.
for your response. So go ahead with your remark.
The only thing I would say, Bo, is it'd be helpful to somehow communicate that, because.
That's why I sent this email. That's why I sent this email, 2 weeks. All the I showed exactly where I transferred for orderable. I cannot read the emails for you. And if you have a question on the email, I always end my email. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Having them at this board meetings, and I mentioned this to an email to you here just 48 hours ago. Let's think before we talk. Listen to understand. Don't listen to respond. There's two differences. I try to run this, you can trust in me to do certain things. I do it to the best of my capabilities. And one of my number one goals is to help educate the board so we can make together better decision about our employees and above all the Heights, the customers. Better decision. So
If I can interrupt you, Bo.
Yeah.
Balance sheet, in my day anyway,
Yeah.
my day was a little bit after you.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
much, but a little bit, is a snapshot in time. When you do that balance sheet, it's only balanced on that particular day. That's it. You gotta come up with a whole new balance sheet and go through everything else the next day. This balance sheet was set up at that point in time. Had we paid the city for the water? Probably not. Have we paid the employees, insurance, blah, blah, blah? That's why Tom brought up it should be left to the manager to manage that money. If that's in there every month, unless we take the balance sheet at a different date, you know, do we need to do that?
When we did this transfer, we were down to 500,000 or somebody. And I think Jeff or somebody answered back and says, do we have enough money in the cash? But I was counting on the cash flow that the money will come in from our customer. And Susie and Jen is doing an excellent job on collection. Our accounts receivable is very current. So we have a good cash flow. We really do have a cash flow. But if you look at the balance sheet, okay, you see current year income and loss. It shows in October $2.4 million current year income. And I wrote an email about this and I said, this is all wrong because it doesn't reflect the bills we have not paid the city. The city has not invoiced accurately for the last 4 months. So as we mentioned to Chris and Jennifer at our meeting this Monday, I think, we will start invoicing ourselves, which means we will take the meter reading at Walter and multiply it by our rate, and that's what we put on a P&L statement. And then we will put in accounts payable what that amount. So we have an auto trace in our accounting system. And I checked with our auditor about this. He said, fine. The other thing I wanted to do too is add the depreciation on a monthly basis and fund the depreciation, actually putting the cash into those accounts. And thirdly, the interest rate on our 3 loans. That should be reflected in the P&L statement.
We have a motion on the floor to accept the balance sheet on page 22 to 25. All in favor, say. Is there a comment from the public on the consent? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 2 passes. Number 4. Who expense
I
statement?
move to accept the expense statement. I'll second myself.
Moved by Tom, seconded by Frank. Discussion.
Okay, so I just want to clarify, because I didn't really understand, Bo, your answer. So the expense statement shows that we purchased 46,980 kilogallons of 1,000 gallons of water, and we sold 58,000, which means something's wrong. And it most likely would be the meter. Have we directly told the city, we are buying less water than we're selling?
Yes.
I told Louis, I had a meeting with him today following our regular meeting,
Okay,
and I asked him, did you do anything to the meter in December a year ago? Because I could see a pattern, it was erratic. And he thought they might have done that. The meter itself they're using, the Venturi meter, is a 20-inch with 12 and 5/16 orifice. It's a very good meter, very precise. But you have to have a pressure differential transducer, and they can go bad. And normally when they go bad in the customer's favor. So I mentioned this to Louis, and he think they did some work on it December a year ago. So he's looking into that, and I showed him the charts I had, so he's aware of it. But we're in an exploratory process right now, because I check this non-revenue water every month, and I'm looking at this pattern from last year to this year, and then it was erratic. So doing it month on month through the year, you could clearly see that there is a difference. If you look at a bunch of numbers, the plus, minus, but it's very difficult to figure out the average. So I run a number of charts, and I think I sent them to you Sunday. I was watching my son's dog, so I had a couple of hours for myself, and I put those charts together.
Must have been a good dog.
One-on-one, these dogs are great. They're Sheilas, they're hunting dogs. They can be very aggressive, but they gave me at least probably 3 hours. And I just love doing this stuff. So you did not bother me, and I think there is something to it, and Louis agrees. And I encouraged him to come tonight, and that was very generous of him to come. Not only that, but his comments were very generous too. I think that was very nice of him.
Okay, any other comments on the expense statement? Any comments from the public on the expense statement? Seeing none, all in favor of accepting the expense statement as in the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
I move to accept the stifle statement, pages 30 through 43.
Second. Discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I just have a question for the general manager.
Go ahead.
Mr. Anderson, is Stifel, when these CDs are coming due, how long are they hanging on to the money before they send it to you so you can send it to STIP?
I know the dates. I approach him first. So I think I have done that. And like I said, we have close to $9 million under management right now. So 0.5% here and there, and a week here and there, yes. So I have a chart, I'll send it to you. For instance, in March of next year, I think we have $950,000 coming due. That's very unusual. We have them staggered. We try to stagger them out. And then we have some later on, and those are at like 5%. So they're very good. Now, he sent us a proposal, and I know that the board would like to go with a short term, the safety STP, but nobody knows where the interests are going. Anyway, the proposal he had were in the 4% plus rate, going out typically 3 years plus.
I think they were all 2027 maturities.
Yeah. So Josh and I were talking about this, and this is sent to us every month, the estimated, and sometimes he's been right, but I think for the most part we've been right. And I just want to caution you, when we have this money under management, we need to listen to the experts. What you do with your own money personally, I think there is a liability involved here too. Why do we hire experts unless we listen to them? So I caution you, in the future, as you build up this portfolio, close to $9 million, that we have accountability, responsibility, and that it's evaluated by some expert, you know. So I would recommend, because I'm not going to be here forever, that you have a manager that look into your portfolio. I'm not just talking about the STIP or the, but there are other ways to invest your money. Right now we're doing great. Okay? By the way, our investment income for last year, I just went through the audited statement, and it is up over $200,000. You got investment in $231,000. It was up 61% over the year before. Last year was $143,000. So we're doing very well.
My question though was not answered, and that is, what is the process for getting the money from Stifel to the district to put into STIP in accordance with the resolution that we passed at the last meeting? You have to call them?
Oh,
Do they
no.
Just
It's a
email
24-hour thing, you know. It's not.
So it's not
Stop.
sitting there for a month?
No. I don't know what you did in the past, but no, quick, stop. Depending on what the board meeting is, because you guys like to see when it comes due, sometimes you want to sell a CD, okay? So when do you do that? I mentioned the Yellowstone, okay?
Right.
You had a 250.7%. Now, who's going to pick that up? Is that Maine's job to figure out when that's due? And where was it? Physically, where was the CD? Do you know? So these are all your responsibility to oversee the financial, and you need to have some oversights. And, you know, I'm used to deal with money, but, you know, you need some accountability and oversight. What is best for the Heights Water District for this money? Who's responsible? How do you manage it? How do you define success? You know, what's your ultimate goal? Keep 25% short-term, 50% long-term, and that sort of thing. So I recommend you review all these investments. I try to update you every month what the components are, how much invested, and what the yield is on these things. And I'll send you this chart again so you can see when these CDs are coming loose. And I like to warn you already now, in February, there's over $900,000 coming due. And they're all over they're all 4.1, 4.2, 4.3%. They're good.
Tom?
Looking at what's in the packet,
Yeah.
we had a CD come due the 7th of this month. This last month, we voted to move on to the STIP fund, which he sent us an email showing it's done. The next one that comes due is $185,000, and it comes, no, $150,000, and it comes due the 21st of January. Well, we have 2 months from now to see what interest rates are doing. In April, we have the 900. The next one after January doesn't come due until April, when we have half a dozen of them.
Current issue.
So I would suggest we keep Bo's statement in mind at looking at the best interest of the customer overall, not just.
Any other comment from the board?
Well, we have 3 CDs that are earning less than 1%. And what we learned when the accountant looked at the Yellowstone Bank one, which was earning nothing, was that we would earn $20,000 more if we moved it to STIP. And so we've got about $500,000 there earning essentially nothing. And in its STIP, on $2 million, we're earning $10,000 a month. So I guess I would like to have if it's not possible, have the accountant review those three that are so low to find out, would it be cost effective to sell them and move the money? Yes, Tom, I understand that you lose the interest, and you may
don't
lose
just
principal.
lose the
Okay,
interest, you
okay.
pay the difference in interest.
But I'd like to see, if-
Tom,
I would just like to know, is it
Stop.
possible?
Right now, stop. We're discussing the stifle statement only.
And
not
I'm
where
discussing
things are
this,
going.
I'm
Jeff,
discussing
you had a
this,
question?
I'm discussing the cycle statement, Dick.
Oh,
I'm saying there's
You're discussing what if this, what if that?
There's 3 CDs that are earning less than 1%, 0.5% to 1%. Would we be better off doing something different with those 3 CDs?
Doug,
We
may I
have-
interject?
Yes.
You know, the Yellowstone, just for an example, the Yellowstone was a bank CD. These are commercial CDs. What is the difference?
That's what we would need to evaluate.
Yeah, but the difference with the bank CD, you don't take the penalty. The other CDs, they're sold perhaps 80% of face value. You have to, I could calculate all that, but you cannot just dispose of the CD at full face value. A bank CD you can. In our case, it was, I think, $700 that we had to pay, okay? But if it was a commercial CD, I would guess 15, 20,000. I would not get the face value. So we took that and I calculated, we can make 20,000 with step on this, no question. But with those stuff, a lot of those are invested in schools, municipalities, all sorts of things, highly rated things. But who wants to buy those? So there is a discount. I'll take it over. So whoever buys that, the yield now becomes 4 or 5% for that individual that takes over. So it's not that easy, and that's why I suggest you guys, you get a financial expert. You have too much money you're playing around with here.
I agree.
About 2 years ago, we had Steve with Stifel here, and I asked that very question, and Steve was blunt. When you sell a CD, you will pay the difference in the interest rate until maturity as to how it can be sold. We have CDs that collect less than 1%. If you go out there in the market and try to sell that, you can't sell it for less than 1%. You can sell it for over 4%. That means the difference between the selling price over 4% and 0.7 for the term of it, this district would pay. Well, what's the difference of paying that upfront or getting that by reinvesting? It's stupid to sell one that's been brokered. You're not gonna get your main investment back when it's cheap interest and today's rates are high interest.
Thank you, Tom.
We've been through this
Thank you.
more than once.
Is there any comment from the public? See none, all in favor of accepting the Stifel statement, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Passes unanimous.
Done with consent agenda.
Yeah, finally. Manager's report. You get to talk some more, Bo.
Well, excuse me for jumping in occasionally. I know I'm out of order half the time, but
Yeah, but the
I have
other
so
half
much
you're in.
passion. I'm so passionate for this, and I hate to not. My main goal really is to bring you good quality information so that you can make the decision, and that's the spirit that. And I seldom voice my own opinion. I just want you guys to have the facts. So that's my spirit. I do not try to attack you personally or professionally in any different ways. I always like to start, number one, with our employees. We have a full house, Josh. We have 9 employees. The servicemen, we have no change there. And I think Josh agrees with me that our new hires are a real great addition. And Tom, could you stand up? He's one
Adam.
new guy.
Adam.
Adam.
Not Tom, Tom's
Yeah,
over there.
and he is well qualified, certified, and he's a real great addition to our team. And I'm so glad you're here, by the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is I think the first time one of our employees showed up. So if you don't mind spreading some of the stuff you hear here to your team, because mainly it's good. So employees, we can't do all this fine work without our team, is number one. We did have some issue this month, and I called Doug for help, and that reflects what we talked about, the 401k. So I completely understand the employees, and so did Doug, and we said we try to correct it, and we have to go through the board. It takes 90 days, 30 days, but I think we did it tonight, so thank you very much for doing it. It means a lot to Josh and me, because to motivate these people and keep them here takes a lot of work. So thank you. Customer complaints. The only customer complaints we keep having is people want to get the water from Heights Water rather than the city and their billings. I mean, this is very interesting. Service line issues. Josh, would you fill in here? I don't think we had any major ones. They were mainly,
On the last month, we had that one on bench and.
yeah.
The top on Chris. Chris was leaking.
Number of meters, I think we're up to 6139, about 1.6% over last year. I did make a comparison going back 6 years on the audited statement, the number of connection and where bill, and I will send you that. But the compounded rate of increase less than 2%. So I think Heights Water used to grow a lot faster than that going back 6-7 years ago. So the growth on new meters is not there. We are working on a number of projects, and with the interest rate coming down, we see more activities, correct? More quoting, more filling,
More interest in development.
yeah. And I'm gonna skip forward here. I've been working quite a bit on the health insurance program, and we'll come to that later. Another one of my favorite things to talk about is employees who want to educate themselves. Self-motivated employees is terrific.
Recording in progress.
So, Jen, could you tell the board a little bit about what your program is all about? And this is a very good one.
The HR.
HR 101.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it was, started off as a basic HR class for those that are new to HR type role. And essentially it was a 8-hour course, crash course on all things HR, which actually kind of gave me a great idea to kind of go through some of our policy and procedures and both things like that kind of updating, obviously. So I'll be in works on a couple of those things I've talked to Josh about. And other than that, it actually opened up a couple more doors for some do's and don'ts of the HR world. And some new other classes that I can do, 8-hour classes and or hour-long classes to kind of keep refreshed throughout the year.
So this is an online, and it's a part of prior. It's I looked at the material that covered a lot of the essential in HR. We get more employees, we have more technical HR questions, and Jen is updating her skill set. I think later on we might be talking about a motion about management training on Montana open meeting laws, and we have contacted those people and on training,
And also, the management software, we have scheduled a meeting on the 25th, and that has to do with training the board, and this is provided by eScribe, is that? Anyway, it's the leading software company for municipality, because I have found out the hard way. The way board meetings are conducted in municipality and in the government sector is a little different than corporate sector. So, do I need this? Yes. And Josh and I will do that on November 25. And then, of course, we had more engineering consulting, and I think I sent you a detailed update from Brad. He gives an update every month on what's going on, and update on the various components of Task Order 28 to Northwest and the billing of that. I won't go into detail. I think I sent you that report.
Yep.
The top expenses for the month, by the way, overall expenses are down for the year, and also last year, if you look at all their reports. I'm very happy how we control expenses. And I think part of it is, Jeff confirmed this, I'm underpaid. I'm not, but that's what he said. It's not, to me, I'm not interested in a pay raise or anything, but it was an interesting comment. And then we had the monthly meeting with the city of Billings with Chris Klusky and Jennifer Duray. And I think those meetings are becoming very constructive and rewarding. And we talked about a number of things, and I think that one of the most important one is the building bypass, and Jeff knows all about that. And we need to jump on that, and with the city, because where you have water, you got sewer line, you got storm water. So when we dig the streets, let's do it together. So we're gonna build on that, and our next meeting, we will talk about it. But even before that meeting, we'll see what's up with them on those projects.
Right.
The TIF program.
Yeah, well, there's an opportunity with that development to capture, if the TIF district was set up,
Yeah.
it was discussed before the council on Monday. It would allow, they did bring it up, so it would allow that increment to be captured to deal with the infrastructure deficiencies in part of the Heights, which includes, our customer base.
And we don't have a pipe going up 5 Mile Road, 24 inch. And St. Mary, that corridor, there are lots of opportunities. Lots of opportunities. And then during that meeting, unfortunately, I told Jennifer what I thought about their billing process. They really haven't billed us correctly for 4 months now. And this last bill really took the price, because they billed it for the $13 for the stormwater Walter. It's not our property, and I feel sorry for it, because they're caught with the contractor and all sorts of things going on. At the same time, they're changing their billing, they increase their price. So enough said.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Did you pay that $13 stormwater for just the water?
No, we didn't do that. No. And there were some other issues with that bill, we just can't get it right. But I believe we start developing a lot better rapport with Lewis. And I think he can see the light that we need to do something with the water meter at Walter. And I have reviewed it with Josh, the manufacturer. I know the capability of it and the accuracy and that sort of thing. But there is an opportunity to install a mag meter there. So we can do more monitoring 24/7 of what's going on in the district. The most important meter, we don't control. Hello, you know, we gotta figure out how much water we're buying and when we're buying it, not just, we wanna see how it comes in. And you heard him say, I want to fill a little more often. Well, Josh, and we like to control when you fill the tanks. If we don't want any more like in January, you know, those tanks gonna be full, I can guarantee you. It's gonna sit there. It's called inventory, called money. So we gotta have control. The most exciting thing, I wanna keep it real brief, but I wanna give you some highlights on the audit, the income. As far as the billing, water sold up 9.4%, operating expenses up 0.6%. And I mentioned to Lewis and Travis, our expenses, wages, salary, benefits, them all. Their audited statement, our audited statement, ours are less. Total income and change in net position, we call it profit in the private sector, was up 10.8%, and COGS was at 50%, 50.4% cost of goods sold. The balance sheet showed an increase of net asset of $921,000 for 4.4%. Long-term liabilities down 7.8%. Cash flow from operation $1.4 million, up 36.5%. Investment was $762,000, totally funded by cash, no additional loans. And investment income, I already said, up 61%, interest paid down 6.5%. I have other stuff, but in the interest of time, any questions?
Right.
Okay, I saw when Ecologic was here the first morning.
Yeah.
We went right out on Main Street where that water was coming up.
Yeah.
What did you find out?
Well, we found out there was no leak.
They found nothing.
So nobody still knows where the water's coming from.
Well, it's got to come from one of the buildings behind there somewhere.
Okay.
So we got to find, we will find it, okay? Because in the wintertime, it freezes up and the state complains, and they think it's us, you know. So we will find it.
But the main isn't leaking there.
Main is not leaking there. It was very interesting. I don't know if we have enough time, but Josh and I followed them for the first couple of readings. Very interesting. And it has to do with sounds traveling through the pipes. So they can only do so much, and they can only do certain type of pipes, and plastic, as you know, is kind of out. So they set it all up. So they put this magnetic pressure transducer right on the 2-inch operating nut on the valve to shut it off on there, and then 300 feet. Okay, so what do you think next thing happens? It goes with a hammer on the hydrant, right? Taps. It shows right up on the computer screen. We watch the computer screen. And they go into the middle of the screen with a 1-inch pipe. Shows. So there is a little voodoo here, I think. Yeah, but that's how they calibrate the instrumentation. So I asked him, do we pay real money for this? I called them because I know we're going to have a board meeting today and see if the data was okay. And while they were here, they sent the data back and forth, and most of the data was good, but there were 2 black hole days, which means we never seen this before. And these guys travel around the world. I mean, Singapore, China, everywhere. Never seen this before, and I hope it was something. It was AC pipe area, correct?
Yeah.
And they could not figure out what was going on. So perhaps we're on to something.
Hopefully that's in that 2025 replacement, pipe replacement area.
It was,
Huh?
it was, I made sure.
But what's strange is that we did AC pipe in other areas, of course. And the thing, what Josh did and Brad, we picked areas throughout the district, depending on soil conditions and traffic. So some areas, no problem at all, no problem reading it. Same distance, same pipe, black hole. So we don't know what this means, and I try to figure it out. They couldn't. So the engineers are working on it.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments to the town manager?
Thank you
both.
Thank you.
One item under old business, the consolidation study update. Rick?
Okay, we had, 2 meetings now on the scope and schedule at, M&M, Morrison and Merrily, and what is it, 1898?
Yep.
They sent out the scope and the schedule, and there was about 750 total hours that they were planning on billing, and the meeting we had 2 weeks ago, I think it was, we got together and we cut out approximately 100 hours that we thought they were probably over timing. And so we had another meeting today. They put that stuff in miscellaneous, and we said, well, we really don't want it miscellaneous, we just soon have it banked, because miscellaneous means it can get spent too easy. And it was all good. I thought we had a really good, productive meeting today, and the next step is to meet with M&M in 1898 and get the kickoff going. And 1898. That's
It's an
permanent.
M&A, merger and acquisition. That's the only thing they do. So it's the administrative part, the financial, while M&M will do all the technical,
The tanks, the lines. And
yeah. So there's 2 components. What I noticed is that 61% of the budget are actually going to the consultant, and I won't tell you what the percentage goes next, but we corrected a lot of that stuff. So we've gone from $400,000 to 200 to, I don't know, but it's going to be a lot less than the 200.
So anyway, I thought the meeting was today, and that went really well. The meeting we had 2 weeks ago was 2.5 hours. But today's was a lot faster, and I think we...
Well, we brought our lawyer.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lawyer bill to pay this month too, huh?
Well, you gotta talk to him. Our attorney.
That worked for free, huh?
Well, I'm sorry. I thought you meant Martin's.
Okay, any other questions for Nick or comments?
I do have a question, because in the Chris's weekly report, he said that, and I don't know, because I can't tell when he's writing, is he talking about a meeting to talk about communication or consolidation? But he said the January meeting will include ideas for utility extensions along the new interchange.
That's the
Right.
bi-monthly.
That's what I mentioned, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that was a very constructive meeting, and we totally agree, we're gonna work on that, so next time we have a meeting, we'll be prepared on talking about on how we can work together on St. Mary and the 5 Mile road there, because they have to put in stormwater and sewer, and when they dig, we're right there with our pipes, stick them in, save money.
Yeah, and Aspen is doing a great job, I think, on Wix. You know, they're putting in they're replacing the AC pipe, but boy, they're working every day, they communicate really well.
Where is this, on the?
On Wix.
We're doing the storm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but that's the goal, and I think it makes sense. So I think these meetings are becoming very productive.
Okay, according to my agenda, after everything's been turned around and reordered, and
Old business item 3.
item 3 under old business. Resolution 3724, which would be adopting proposed time schedule system-wide PER.
I move for approval of resolution 37-24.
Second. Questions, comments from the board? Yeah.
Well, I did ask Debbie today, I said, so would consolidation impact the Northwest Transmission Line? And she said, yes, if you do consolidation, you don't need the transmission line, there's way cheaper options to do that. Now, I thought I heard something different from Lewis today, but I was having trouble following all the detail. So I guess I have some concerns about spending more time and money on the Northwest Transmission Line if that's.
We're not talking about the Northwest Transmission Line, we're
Okay.
talking about the TER.
Okay,
Not tonight.
okay.
Can we
That
please
that is a
have-
part of it though, Pam, but it's a part of it, and you're not committing yourself to anything here. You know. You're not, as a board
Oh.
member, you're not committing yourself to do it or spend it or.
All we're doing is accepting their
The study,
report.
the TER report, period.
So any other
Nothing
comments?
about the Northwest Transmission Line.
Any public comments? Seeing none, all in favor of adopting resolution 3724, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passage unanimous.
I kind of oppose it because I just don't understand enough and I can't get to it quick enough, so I'll just say I oppose.
Okay, we'll move on to new business.
Number one's been covered.
Yep. Number two is healthcare insurance proposal for 2025, pages 79 to 81, and that comes with resolution 32-24.
I move we accept resolution 32-24 on the healthcare proposal.
I second it.
Second, discussion.
I'd like to amend that resolution
Okay?
to change it from a premium or platinum plan to the gold plan. It still would be paid 100% for all the employees and their families. But we're here working for the customers. I heard that, I don't know how many times tonight already. That the reason the board is here is for the customers. And that would save approximately $30,000 a year for the customers. And it's still, the gold plan is still a really good plan. And it's still paid for 100% by the
Is there
board.
a second on this
There's
motion?
no second
that
on
was
it.
discussing?
I'll second it for purposes of discussion.
Go ahead, Frank.
I'm done with that.
I got a question, or I got a
Ming, go ahead.
The only problem with that is it changes the deductible to $8,000. $8,000 to go to the gold plan. Those people that are on that platinum plan will pay more to be on this plan than what it is. Right now, if you look at our budget, we're not spending this 9 to 10% above and beyond what the platinum plan does right now. We're not giving anything to the employees on this. I know for a fact, if somebody says, my God, I've got to pay $8,000 more in my deductible, forget it. I mean, I'm out of here. You know what I'm talking about? You might save $30,000, but in reality, if you look at our budget right now, from last year to this year, that plan is not changing much in regards to what we're paying for premiums for the employees, by keeping it where it's at.
I agree with Ming, changing the out-of-pocket, even $5,000, 8 employees, that's costing our employees $40,000 for the $30,000 you save. When you take an employee and tell him you gotta pay $5,000 of your earned money, of your take-home money, for something you didn't have to before, you're telling that employee you're overpaid and we're gonna cut your wages. I cannot support this amendment. I'm sorry. I value our employees. I'm not gonna cut their wages. It's important to the district and the ratepayer. I'm a ratepayer just like everybody else here, but I want my employees to be happy. And if I was an employee and I was told you're gonna spend $5,000 more in out-of-pocket next year than you did this year, I'd take that as a rate cut and I would be upset. So I won't support it.
Just in interest of informing you guys, going back 3-4 years, we spent over $20,000, several $1,000s more than we're proposing here. I think part of it is younger employees,
Even
perhaps
with
healthier.
even with the premium increase.
Right.
we're still paying less, we have
And
younger.
secondly, if you look at all the wages and salaries and benefits, all of them, audited numbers, we're less than the city right now. So if we had financial hardship, I would push for what Frank is saying and cut something, and the employees will understand it, they will participate. But Josh really depend on his employees, and this is how we attract. I keep referring to Adam all the time, but one of the reasons why he joined us is our benefits. Yes, they're generous, but we get guys who know which day of the week it is, and they have the license, they have the certification, and they can go out, fix things unsupervised, you know. It's a big thing. So normally in life, you get what you pay for. And as far as I'm concerned, the most important thing about Heights Water is our team of employees. So Frank has a good point, but it sends the wrong message, and especially now, at the wrong time. The timing is not right for the consolidation and cutting people. I don't think it will work.
So, according to the information you gave in your manager's report on August 21 meeting, I don't know where Ben came up or with the gold plan increase to $7,000. The gold plan will increase the deductible out of pocket from $750 to $1,500, not $7,000.
That's individual, look at the max out of pocket.
Look at the max out of pockets.
Yeah, but,
That's what I felt.
And max isn't 7,000 either, it's 56, from 15 to 10.
That's 1,500, right?
yeah, out of pocket right now is $1,600 inside and $4,800 outside. And the deductible is $750, $1,500 out of region. And it's now going from $1,500 to $2,550. So it is already increased. I'm talking about the flat. The gold plan, like you said, it's like $6,000, $7,000. In my experience running a company with a few employees, that made a big difference. So what we did, we had a special card, a credit card they can use to pick up that difference in the insurance policy. So they had no deductible. It was a special plan we set up for the employees because they would not go to the hospital or the emergency room if they have the little thing, you know. It might cost you $500–600 emergency, but they wouldn't go. And lost time, lost days, and Josh doesn't have these guys up and running crisp in their trucks in the morning. We got a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing that we need to consider is the fact that if we take a look at these healthcare plans, there's those that are in network and those are out of network.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's
Makes
what
a
he was
big
saying.
difference.
So a lot of the people here that work here would be forced to use only Billings Clinic. And a lot of people are not going to Billings Clinic. They go to St. Vincent's, or they go to a certain doctor that's over there. Well, which one is it? I can't remember.
Well, that's another plan, that's another.
Yeah,
that-
but because
yeah.
we voted on that 3 years ago.
Right,
And
that's
to
different.
make sure that
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
could be
We-
with or without network charges.
Okay, we've got amendment on the floor. I would love to amend the amendment, but I'm not going to. If it fails, I will put in an option, but is there any other comment on the amendment? Tom?
Like Bo said, we're not hurt financially. Last year, when we did our renewal, our rates were supposed to be, I have here in last year's page, $17,009. This year's rate is only estimated right now at $16,000 a month. This
Because
is
they don't have-
$1,000 a month less than we were paying at this time.
With two more employees.
Yes.
But if you look at the audited statement that I just went
I
through,
understand.
the salary and wages are down 9.5% from 2023. Employee benefits are down 5.1%. We picked up a net of $70,000 lower salary and wages. Why? Well, I think there was an interim when we didn't have a general manager, and we did not replace a lot of the staff, correct? You were down to 5.
Couldn't find replacements.
One point in time, we only had 3.
3. So there was a big difference, but looking at, okay, going back 6 years, you know what a compound interest is, right? So salaries going back from 2019 have increased, on the average, 1.4%. Benefits have increased 0.4 in compound every year. So this is,
Those are not quite correct.
these are the audited, I just did this yesterday, no?
No. Frank?
So if you look at the part on here, the Blue Cross and Blue Shield from going, the rate increase this year, and you take the total of 16,000 or whatever it is, it's a 9.9% raise
Yeah.
for this year.
For benefits. Yeah,
So
you
it doesn't
mentioned,
show up in either one.
you
The
mentioned.
annual premium will still be less than we were paying in previous years because we have younger people working.
No, the young, okay, there's, not everybody's
It's
listed
age-based
on,
it's
not
age-based
everybody's
premium.
listed on here.
Yeah. Okay, any comments from the public on?
As a company owner, your number one asset is your employees. Take care of them.
Here. Totally agree. That's what it's all about. People. It's
You don't
not
take care
about
of
the
them,
pocketbook.
they'll bury you.
Correct,
Believe me, I know.
yeah.
Okay,
Totally agree.
any further comments? Seeing none, the amended motion
Amendment is to change the platinum to gold.
to go. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
I oppose it.
Motion dies on a tie. No.
Now we have the original motion to accept the plan,
And I would like to amend,
unamended, because it's been
I would like to amend that motion. And my motion would be, and this is a very minuscule amount, but it would be to charge our employees 10% of the difference from the old plan to the new plan. In other words, if you have a family plan and your plan went up $100, you would be charged $10. And the reason for that is you have some skin in the game. And that's the only reason. Discussion, or second, if there is one.
I'll second it for discussion purposes, only if I'm allowed to discuss it.
Yes. Go ahead.
What are you gonna do with the new employee? He don't have nothing from last year. What are you gonna charge him?
What his rate is?
You're gonna pay the full amount and charge him 0? Or are you gonna charge him 10% of his rate, because he didn't have a rate last year? A new employee pays a whole bunch, and an old employee pays on the increase. I like the idea of having skin in the game for people, but it's gotta be fair. This does nothing for a new employee to put skin in the game other than to charge him 10% of the whole premium. I can't do that. We haven't been there in the past. That
No, we
is a
haven't.
huge amount.
We
We
haven't
pay
been there in the
10%
past.
of the premium.
Any other discussion? My reply, Tom, is, in this part of the discussion, is that it's the same way now. You have families and you have single individuals.
I understand.
You understand? Then tell me what I was gonna say.
No, can't do what you're gonna say. I understand. We have family plans, we have single.
In the single plan going up, their 10% is gonna be less than what the family plan is going to be.
That's true. We have.
But their benefit also is going to be less. In other words, the amount of usage on a family plan could be horrendous, or it could be nothing. You never know. But on a single, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and that individual's gonna be covered, and that's what you want, in my books.
So is it 10% on the employees increase, or
his family and children, the whole package.
The whole
I
package.
have all the details
Oh,
here.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I did the calculation. And I know exactly how this will affect each.
So what's the most expensive increase, you know, don't use any names, just, dollar amount?
Guilty as charged. So 10% would be $23 per phase, or this is
Per
by
year?
month. This is by month.
Yeah, so
Correct.
it'd be
This is,
$12.50.
so it'd be $23. So I'll pay you that.
$23 per month,
Yeah.
okay.
So I'm looking at.
Yours is $22.50.
It's an entire hour for her.
Yeah, yours is
I think
$22.50.
you're really getting your point across.
Okay.
You
Just
have
kidding.
current standing policy that the district pays 100% of the employee premium.
Right.
Along with that, there's a $1,400 amount given, or pegged to each employee that by resolution was voted to pool to cover. So you have $1,400 to every employee.
Not every employee.
To every employee, that's the way the resolution stated. Every employee has $1,400 additional on top of the district paying the employee. The district pays the employee's
Okay, so
premium,
take it
flat out.
Yeah. So.
And then $1,400 to go for family and
821
spouse.
this year, coming year, will to the good at 937.
Mr. Chairman, a question for Josh. So if you don't have a spouse or family, what happens to the $1,400?
That money was pooled. So as we have an individual that doesn't, and that money is still thrown into the pool, that money is still allotted to that employee as it is any other employee. But just because they don't use it doesn't mean it goes away. It was already budgeted for $1,400
Where does
for
it-
9
Where does
employees.
it go, Josh?
Goes to the other employees.
Goes to the
It
other
goes to
employees.
cover whatever, yeah, so if
It's already
mine
paid.
is $1,500 a month, then $100 from that 1,400 pays, it's just, that money is,
Who takes care of the pool?
that was done by resolution.
No,
Who takes care of the pool? It was all budgeted for, so it's, as long as it was under that,
Can I take and look at a piece of paper to see where the $1,400 that was given to each employee, where it went? Is my question. Is there a debit and credit sheet that I can look at?
I don't think there is.
If there's no tracking.
There's no tracking of it at all.
Right, and it looks to me, just looking at the numbers, if we did that, there would be a significant reduction in what family members were getting paid. Because, you know, Jen's getting, $600 more than than her basic rate plus 1,400. And
I would
because we
rather
have
have
some-
you, I'd rather have you not.
Well,
use-
it's in the.
I would rather not have you use anybody's name.
Okay,
We've
but
got
it-
the public here. We
But it
don't-
is in the agenda packet, so the public has access to information. So I don't think those numbers would pan out if we actually laid it out.
Tom,
This district has paid the entire premium for decades. To start now, like Bo said, here's somebody that would pay $23. You can look at the sheet, and we obviously have looks like 3 people that have only the employee cover. So we can average those 3, and we can say any new employee is gonna be in that premium.
there's
There's
only
only been one
there is
person that
only
only
one
has the
person that has one on
employee
there.
only.
There's only one.
Others have a husband and wife.
Oh, okay, you're right.
Or
There is
just children.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. You're saying the new employee's gonna come in and pay $70-some of his health insurance, and an employee that's been here a long time with a family, a spouse, and number of children is only gonna pay $23. That's not fair.
Longevity.
I'm sorry, I just can't
I mean,
do that to them.
Josh, you say there's a $1,400 pool for each employee that they gotta pull that, and does it go directly into the insurance then, Josh, or how do we, I mean, like,
I
the
have,
chair-
I have the
Okay,
document.
so
right
it's
here.
in there already?
Yeah, I have I know what the total amount was last year and the pool this year, what it is, and the pool different versus that individual's total premium. And Jen was kind enough to let us use her number. Let's say, her premium last year was 2,400, now it's 2,006. So she's over the pool by 269 this year. Last year, she was over by 294. So if we didn't pool, she had to come up with that money.
Yeah.
But because of the pool, and this was passed November 11th, 2019. I don't know who came up with this scheme, but it works. And if we didn't hire some of the new employees, some of the old employees would have been in trouble because we got more pool money with more employees. Especially if they don't have any children or wives or that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, Chair, wouldn't that take care of your $10 that you were concerned about if you knew that there was a pool there?
If I could see the pool,
It's there.
do the employees pay income tax on that pool money?
It's a healthcare spending plan. They don't,
We don't have a healthcare spending.
well, it's
plan.
a gross amount on your insurance.
We can do this accounting wise,
Yeah,
set up an account, because whenever we go out of the pool, because we were close to doing that, when I calculated, when we first got the premium, we were out of the pool by, it was like less than $300, I think. But as we mentioned, we have hired some new employees. So we're actually to the good $937 right now. Last year, we're to the good $821.
Is that with Adam's new?
Yeah,
Adam,
Adam is not the newest employee. We, Cameron, Johnson Cameron, yeah, Cameron.
Is his on
And,
here?
yeah,
In,
what, we can't say this.
right, but
Okay.
what
So
is it?
He's not on there.
On this one he is.
No, he's not, that's why I'm saying those numbers you have.
No, on this one here on the agenda today, I got it on my computer, and there's only 7 people.
It's because he was hired after that was.
So
Right.
what I'm asking.
Snapshot in time, huh?
Okay,
So he's good, he contributed $900.
so his insurance was only $410.
Yeah, oh, it was, yeah. He is, because we allotted 1,400 back in, and that amount hasn't changed in 4 years, 5 years. But because Josh hired some new people, we're to the good.
Where's
I didn't hire any
suggest
extra than
we
there
make
was
this
then either.
official in the accounting structure, because I did not realize it's not official. I
Yeah.
worked on this and I knew about and I have a copy of the resolutions, I calculated all this, I know exactly who's paying what.
I would withdraw my motion,
I'll withdraw the second.
so the motion has been withdrawn.
I could send this to you if you want.
We do need the accounting on that, and we need that in the policy. Yeah,
Well, that's not the last vote, though.
no,
I mean, no, I mean, this 2019 is not the last vote on healthcare. That was the first time that was, prior to that, we paid full for the employee.
Yeah.
And the $1,400 got put in 2019, but about 2022 or 23,
Yeah,
Duke convinced people on the board to pay 100% of full family. Now, very often the district operated without resolution, so you may not have a resolution, but it is in the minutes. From about November, December, I could find those for you.
22 or 23, he wasn't here.
Well, when Duke was here, it did change, and that was after 2019, because I wasn't on the board in 2019, and I was on the board when he changed that. So,
what you're trying to say then is the district is paying their full amount, plus we're giving them $1,400 a year to share.
Well, that's
That's
why,
what-
because things were done incorrectly. I mean, we didn't reject this 2019 resolution, nor did they adopt a new resolution. They just passed a motion that they would pay full family. So,
May I
Jennifer,
suggest
Jennifer,
that
could you please,
you
you're
make,
doing the bookkeeping on that, are the employees being $1,400 in the pool?
There's no pool, we don't have any allocation for that. It's just, it comes out of the budget for the insurance that you guys approved. That's,
yeah,
So the
we test,
1,400
we tested,
they're paid 100%. All
Yeah.
employees and families are paid 100% currently, regardless of what that amount is or where it's calculated. That's just how it's been since I've been here.
Director
thank you.
Essman.
I think we have a motion on the floor to adopt the plan as is, and I'd like to take a vote on it.
Public comments?
I think we have it.
Okay, all in favor of accepting, where are we at here now? Resolution
You might wanna do a roll call.
3224. As written. Do a roll call, Pam? Oh,
He's not a member of the board. No member of the
Oh.
board is called for a roll call vote.
it's just
You can
thinking
take a
loud.
voice
I was
vote.
thinking aloud here. Okay, all in favor of the said motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Resolution 36-24, page 87, Management Software Training and Board of Director Agenda on the Board of Director Agenda Program. Is there a motion to accept?
So moved.
Frank moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Frank seconds. Session.
How much is that gonna cost approximately?
Who cares?
The
Who
soft,
cares?
the,
It's gonna be probably about $2,000,
About $2,000.
somewhere in there.
Important for our employees to.
but it's a component of the board too. Training.
Discussion. Yeah.
Well, I think this will improve the purpose of this is to improve the public's access to the agenda packets, make it easier for them to review it and comment on it, and I think it would improve our processes, so I think it's a good idea.
Agree with you. It will save time in the long run. Any other comments? Any public comments? Seeing none, all in favor of resolution 36-24, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimous. Management training on Montana open meeting laws.
Move adoption of resolution 35-24.
Second. Jeff has moved, Frank second. Any discussion? Director Essman.
Well, we have an obligation to follow the law in this country, and I hope we will, in the state, and I hope we will, and our employees need the training so that we can do it.
Yeah.
It's not fair to jump on them about not complying with the law when they don't know what it is, so I think we should get past that point of discussion and move forward.
Pam?
I just have a question. I know there's been some emails, but I wasn't able, has the date been set for potential training or?
Subject to this.
Okay,
We have tentative dates. We have 2 dates and a backup date. Yeah, and they're all in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let us
So
know.
it's up to, what's his name? So he's trying to combine it with something else because he's coming from Bozeman. And so we have three dates.
Okay, yeah, I tried to follow it on the email, but I couldn't quite figure out what
No,
it was saying.
I didn't want to do it because you talked about $1,000 or $2,000 without a commitment from the board.
No, I
you
knew
know.
that the commitment was holding. I just couldn't tell what the options were or whether it's settled, so.
I'll send, yeah, now we have
Okay.
some correspondence.
Tom?
Can this be open so board members and public can attend if they want?
We
Or is that-
insist.
Huh?
I said, we insist.
Good, because I would like to attend if it
Yeah.
doesn't cost.
Well,
That's what he recommended,
it's
that.
board training also.
Yeah, what we recommended is like we have a 1 hour session with the board, and then you kind of tell, you emphasize this or emphasize that, it would be great. And then we go in a closed door session for 3 or 4 hours, with him. But he recommended a session before the board, Josh. And I thought that was interesting.
Why does we need a closed door session? for
Not
you
a
and
closed
Josh?
door, but
Because they're gonna talk about it.
just to
Because
us.
he charges per person.
Does charge per
Wow,
person?
no,
That's
he-
what
It's
I'm
a
talking
group, it's a set fee.
It's a group, like per, like group size. So
When
it's
when I
like
first
budget
talked, he
total,
talked about like $1,000 or
something like that.
Can't we do this in one meeting instead of two?
Yeah,
at the same
exactly.
time?
No. So in the morning, whatever you guys decide, I'll send you the information. You decide when. And I thought he was right on because he probably wanted to talk to you too. What is it you want, And then train according to what you guys.
Law is.
Well, the law, is extensive, but the basics, we gotta cover that.
Well,
Go ahead, Director Esserman.
there are a lot of boards that don't wanna comply with open meeting laws, so I think the purpose of his meeting with the boards is to let the boards know that they can't be doing that anymore before he teaches the staff that they can't be doing that anymore.
Right.
So I think that's why it's structured that way, because it's been even though
Okay,
this has been a
got it.
provision of our Constitution for 50 years.
To
There's an
validate
old
the
way.
process,
There's a-
validate the process.
Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
it's been an ongoing issue.
Got it.
Comments from the public?
Question, will this be open to the public to take this, the public meeting for, the open meeting laws rather? Is
I
that
haven't
what
taken
you're-
the class yet, so I can't tell you.
Pardon? Oh, I know.
It's fine if there's a
Why
charge
not?
per
Yeah, I
person.
think
It should be, because he works for a university.
Right.
yeah,
And,
I
and
think it
we,
is.
It'll be posted.
yeah. Well,
Is it on the website?
Anybody who wants to learn can show up for the
On-
board part of it, for
On,
sure.
on the website?
Yeah, I'll post it on the website once we have a firm date.
Oh, no,
Because it's an entire board gathering.
yeah.
Oh,
We're gonna have to have minutes for our meeting at the board, is there?
Well,
I think that's only if you talk about,
It's only if you would become a meeting,
Training.
it's gotta be posted if we gather.
Yeah, if we
I'd
get there,
be
so.
We don't have to
involved
have
in
minutes
training
if we don't.
It's just an
do any
educational
business.
session.
Correct.
It's a training.
It's like a
yeah,
work
it's
session.
not doing business.
and that's
It's
one of the
education.
dates we
No
should have.
business, there's a public comment right there.
I was gonna say, if you have a quorum, it has to be an open public meeting.
It's gotta be noticed.
Yeah, so public can show up.
Even on an education.
yeah.
Yes.
Like our meeting at Interstate to inform on the
I
TV.
Same
understand
kind
that,
of
but
meeting.
this is
But
just an education on a law.
it really shouldn't change anything. It really shouldn't change.
Won't matter either way.
So just posted it as a meeting, open public meeting, big deal.
Where do we go?
As long as it's legal according to the law to post it that way.
Yeah.
This is probably why we need
We'll get a meeting, we'll find out.
We will need to know cost- we will need to know a direct cost involved. I mean, if we have this room filled with people.
Oh, I gotta
that are
ask
gonna
him.
garnish this gentleman's knowledge,
Yeah.
we might have to charge the public to come into the meeting.
Well, the way I was talking to him was kind of a flat fee for the day, because he was gonna travel down. But I will ask him, I will get back to you, okay?
I don't understand why we need a different meeting for you and Josh as the whole board. I mean,
That
it's
was
a
his-
meeting
that
on
was
the
his
whole-
idea.
It's to validate.
That was his
In
idea.
other words, you know about what the public meeting laws are. So when they tell you you are out of line, you damn well know you're out of line,
Okay.
and you don't have a question about it.
Here we go.
So, Pam,
Just for history, when Ming and Laura were elected, we hired a local attorney who came in and did an open meeting for the board. The management was invited, but they were boycotting and didn't show up. But it was posted, and we had members
Sure.
of the public there.
Yeah,
So,
why not?
and it was helpful, actually.
Right.
Why not? It's good for the community, it's good for Heights Water. It's a win-win thing.
Evelyn had a public comment.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm sure this guy knows, if he invited the board, he knows that it has
Well,
to
he
be.
teaches it.
Yeah.
Teaches it. Who is it anyway?
He's the guy who heads it up. He's the
Dan
head honcho.
Dan
Very
Clark.
nice guy.
Dan Clark, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we had Dan Clark,
Yeah.
discuss this before, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, any other public comment? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. And announcements, if we, I'm gonna postpone our work session.
For that 2-week deal.
Right, for the 2-week thing. If you
That's gonna
guys,
have to be a business session then, not a work session.
right, and we may combine both meetings in one.
It's gonna be at 9 o'clock in the morning though.
Is,
It's Friday, not exactly
Mr.
Friday.
Chairman, just a question for the management team. So all this work product from Interstate Engineering is easily accessible on our website for the public to
not-
comment on?
This material here is not posted yet. This is the first time you have the executive summary plan description more descriptive than this. This was for the public here. But
Yeah, I'll get
we
all
can
the
publish,
stuff.
we post this too, okay?
Yeah.
We'll post it,
Yeah, I think it should be
Yeah, yeah,
posted so that the people who wish to comment, they have till December 9th to comment on it, and they'll need
Absolutely.
access to it so they
Good
can
point.
comment on it.
Good point, yes, yes.
Make sure you tell them that they can comment up till December 9th.
You know, on our homepage, we can put a little thing.
It's already there.
Yeah.
It's already there.
Yeah, but a little a flash, you know what I'm saying? You look at it, you can't tell what's,
It's already there.
okay.
That's where I'm heading right now. It'll be the,
What's 2 weeks?
14 days?
What is that?
2 weeks from, no, it's.
See, we're getting punchy here.
I'm in Helena for Impera meetings on the 11th and the 12th.
That killed it.
It'd be the week before that, though.
No,
That'd
but
be
normally in
the
December,
4th.
we usually do the second
2 weeks
Wednesday,
before?
not the third.
The 13th?
Normally. Not the whole Christmas.
Yeah.
What's the consensus?
The 11th,
What else there was? There's a big stack.
Just
of
to help
stuff
you.
there, so one of those.
Normal.
Did you adjourn the meeting?
No.
I make the motion to adjourn. Oh, we're gonna wait for the
I'm available, but, so we will adjourn, but I will.
Yeah, I'll
email
have
you
whatever they
all.
left, and then, I'll pull it up here.
Yeah.
Are you done, Doug?
Would you mind if we did it on a Tuesday?
I'll show you here on the
Why can't we do it
website where
during the
we
day
got
at 9
it.
o'clock?
Well, I'm in Helena on the, December 11th and 12th.
That's Tuesday and Wednesday?
What are you talking about, Doug? Work session or board meeting?
Yeah. I know.
No.
it's very usually.
What are you talking about scheduling?
A meeting for the 2-week deal on the retirement, what they decide.
Why
And
can't we
that'll-
just take that up at the December meeting?
And that'll actually be the December meeting, all in one.
So no more work session.
No work session, it would just be so,
He's gonna email that to you, Ming, Just open your email.
I mean, would you be opposed to, would the board be opposed to the 18th?
Well, that's what I've got on my schedule.
That is a Wednesday.
Right, I could do it.
We just normally do it sooner.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's not the.
Yeah, well, the committee's still supposed to be done in 2, we don't decide. It's supposed to be done in 2.
Okay.
Yeah, they're down.
We'll adjourn.
Just make sure you include the notice
Yeah.
days or whatever.
Well,
Sorry about that.
Just scratch the work session.
Wrong lot.
Yeah, just make sure you got it. I got a couple of other appointments in the evenings, so.
That's
That's my problem.
No party.
I can't, because all
No
this
party.
is done.
Oh, I wish.
This
My
requires
husband, my
you cost
Yeah.
alternatives in there.
So you okay?
If you don't mind,
Are you okay?
I called them on it.
I'm so happy.
You have no evidence to support that.
It's always Thank you very much for coming.
No, thank you so much.
Well, there's, in the legislature, there's a public process for dismissing all
Don't take care of me.
There should be public misconduct.
I am, yeah.
I'm in the 401k now, I love paycheck. They're only doing the.
That's what Jen said, they're doing the payroll and the whole works.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Just
Well,
401k.
My son and daughter-in-law are gonna take her folks and us around.
Oh, I like the grand.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm trying to clean it off.
Yeah, right. Not that I can be honest.
Oh, I know, where the river's going. There's gonna be a
Pretty
lot.
lucky.
There's nothing
Don't race your motor.
What's the king on?
related to.
Change that deal on your head.
Katie, that's gonna be a great help.
We wanted to do
Whatever.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you.
And I'll send it to Jana.
All right, homeward bound.
Just allow them to do it.
Yeah.